Start the broadcast here. All right, cool. Well, good evening. Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day. All depends on where you're located. Back here, another episode of the Owner's Box. USFL presents the only, PS4 talk show that I know of that's around to discuss all things Madden. Back here, man, with another episode. We're calling this the off-season episode because we just finished up year. What is this? 4, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say 4.
Yeah, year 4. I'm joined here this evening by my great co-host Ty-riffic, and then we have the commissioner Bill, aka the Steelers, aka what we like to call here on the Owner's Box, organized chaos. Good evening, fellas. What's going on with y'all?
Hey, brother, I didn't know if we was gonna get this one in, but you was a man of your word. I'm glad Bill hung out a little bit. For starters, I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but I believe a prediction was made on your end that it would be Bears Super Bowl, and you stated if you was wrong, you'd apologize. So you better believe Cletus J let me know I needed to pass that along, as well as the fact that you agreed to sponsor a Super Bowl winning trophy that he's sitting there going,
No doubt.
So,
no doubt. So first and foremost, I do apologize. Shout out to Cletus for winning the Super Bowl. I did get half of it right, though. Don't discredit me all the way. I got half of it right. Raiders let me down. But we'll address that a little later too as well. But yep, and then Cletus, I do. So I am going to sponsor that $8 trophy. So Ty, we'll figure it out. When we see you do this call, I'll shoot you that via Cash App. However you want to make it happen. And congratulations on that. And I want one. So that just drives me now to get one. So
right.
So while we have the commissioner, man, I want to call this really, which is kind of dope. We did this the last couple seasons, off seasons, is allow him to speak on how the season went from the admin standpoint. Allows you to tie then just be the host. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're the voice of one of the admins as well. But we got the big dog here. Maybe discuss any rules that have been changed or anything coming up for the next season. So, Bill, welcome, and give me your thoughts on how this season went and how the league's going so far.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. Obviously, I think we probably had one of the most competitive seasons that we've had in the last 4 years. I mean, some great competition, man. I mean, the guys that were there really earned the right to be there. We had a couple things that we had to address as an admin team, and I hope everybody respects our decisions. We come into this league and we have rules set for a reason. And I think actually you even got caught up in that same exact sim rule a couple years back where you simmed 4, 5, or 6 games and you were out of the playoffs.
Sure. I tried it. I was like, hey man, I only got 4. You're like, nope, you got like 6.
So we bounced you too. So obviously we bounced Tick this year. We don't want to. We don't want you. We want you to earn your way in there. We want you to play your game. We want you to be there. We want the best competition in the playoffs, which I think we still had. Obviously, we'd love to have Tick in there if he'd have played his game. Only thing that disappointed me was, there was a little bit of disrespect that was thrown there's some shade thrown towards the admin team that, didn't need to happen, really. I didn't think. I mean, we appreciate your clicks and your NWO click and all that stuff. Hey, man, it makes a lot of fun in the league. It really does. But to dish us and to go after an admin team that's just doing what we're supposed to do, man. We all play by the same rules, and we're all hoping everybody plays by the same rules, and we got to enforce them. That's it. So, that was kind of a little disheartening. But hey, man, we moved on. We got thick skin. We just keep moving. Obviously, just like you learned, you're gonna play your games, aren't you? We hope Tick plays his games, and we know he will. He'll be back here. There's nothing. Cream always rises to the top. So as far as that goes, I think we had a really good Super Bowl. I mean, shout out to both those teams. Cletus played a hell of a game. Dre, man, I thought he'd come back in the third quarter, man. He got it real close, made it really interesting. A couple of those picks, man. I thought, man, this is the turning point in the game, and then it just didn't come through. So, but man, it was really exciting for me to watch the game. I mean, it was better than the real Super Bowl, in my opinion. But we did, we talked about a lot of things, rule changes and things like that. And, we go into this as a team. There's five-person admin team. We always talk about different rules and the way we could change things. We talked about sliders. We need to adjust them. We felt that we really didn't need to. There was a lot of, there was a good amount of sacks through the season. But there's a way that, if you adjusted your blocking, you could hold them off and you could still make plays. So we felt that the sliders were a pretty good place. We did talk about a couple other things, rule changes. We always bring up position change. That's a big one. A lot of people wanting, to change some positions, CBs to safeties and things like that. We looked at that. I actually went in and started looking at some of those things. And obviously you'd like to set some parameters. If you're going to change a CB to a safety, you don't want some 90 speed CB with crazy zone back there just gobbling up everything that comes his way. So we looked at that, and some of the parameters, and we're in the UG as well, and their parameters were pretty cool. But we looked at it, and I looked at a lot of different players, and I looked at CBs that were over 30, and looked at their speed and things like that. And you know what? I've seen I think one or two CBs that could actually be changed to a safety. So I was like, at that point, we kind of had beat a dead horse, and we kind of kept moving on. We did change. One of the things we wanted to change was, and we felt that having home field advantage was a significant thing during the playoffs, and we felt that home team should have an advantage going into the game, and there's less games being played, more people scouting and things like that. So to change that rule, we wanted to make sure that home team had the advantage. So what we did was we decided that the away teams from now on should be simming the games. So away teams should be simming any playoff games from here going forward. That way, if the home team, that gives home team advantage. It gives them something that they can do. A little bit of advantage. It's not much, but when you're playing, when you have a whole league watching you play, and they're watching your play, and then they're ready to play the next game. It might be an advantage for the home team to not be able to, be scoped on such a microscope like that. So that was one of the things we changed just this off season. So not a big change or anything.
Hey, Bill, I just want to elaborate so people don't get it confused. So during the regular season, 16 games, the rule remains the same. The home team streams. What we're saying is for the playoffs, we're going to reverse it. And the away team will have to stream playoff games to give the home field the advantage that they earned. So regular season remains the same. Home team streams. Playoffs, we reverse it. Home team doesn't stream. Away team streams.
A little bit of an advantage. Yes, sir. I like it. I think it's a great rule.
Yeah, I think that's different. I like it as well. It's funny because it really, people been watching. It depends on who you are. People watch a game all season anyway. So unless you do something brand new,
that's what good teams do.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah, for sure. And then people will just dissect it. So either way, I think that's good. We're currently in the first round of free agency, right? I think you said you just advanced to that, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was still some more changes there that gets to the rules, though.
Well, let's address them. What else is new? Can we talk about? Is there anything fourth down rule? Anything on that? Oh no, that's always a thing.
Go right ahead. Go ahead, Ty.
We didn't change the fourth down rule, but we did amend the playoff rule. Looking at the controversy we've had, there's been a feeling amongst the commissions that the intent originally of the sim rule was to try to reward players for playing. But we felt there was a loophole in it. Like, it wasn't really a good idea necessarily to let people that sim too much get to the playoffs and then force loss them out, because it affects a bunch of different things. The first thing that happens is you have a wild card team that plays, let's say, a team that gets a force loss. They're in effect getting a free bye, which isn't fair to the teams that actually earned a bye. The second thing, well, now you have a playoff team in there, and the person in the 7 hole could have actually got that spot. So instead of letting teams get all the way to the playoffs and then saying you're not eligible, going forward, and this is really important for owners to understand, when you reach more than 5 sims, at whatever point that is in the season, you are automatically going to be put on auto at that point. So if we're 11 games in and you reach 6 sims, you will be on auto the rest of the season. That way, it gives your opponents a chance to play your computer team without hurting their players. It hopefully eliminates you from even making it into the playoffs. You have the 6 teams on each conference that should actually be in the playoffs, and nobody's getting a free bye that didn't deserve a bye because you're force lossing a playoff opponent out of the league. So no longer is it going to be you've passed 5 sims, but we're going to let you get to the playoffs and then knock you out. At the point in the season where you get your 6 sim, you're on auto for the rest of the season.
Okay. I like it. I mean, pretty much you're pretty much on auto at that point anyway. You're just haven't hit the button for real. So, and I think that it does help a lot of the fact that the CPUs still get somehow figure their way into the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. The CPU teams always find a way to sneak in. So, or the teams that don't usually, like you say, usually have the force sims. Like going back, I think it was like 2 seasons ago or a season ago, Bill, you had reached out to me like, "Yo, you're about to make the playoffs." I was like, "Cool, I'm ready." And he's like, "Wait a minute, let me check the sim. Let me check your sims." I was like, "Oh, I knew I was hit then." I was like, "Oh, I'm hit." And he was like, "I think you might have made a hit 6 sims." I was like, "No, I think I got 5." You hit me back like, "Nah, you got 6." I was like, "Damn." You know? It's like, damn it. You know what I'm saying? I was wanting to get that playoffs. And he was like, so I understand. I've been a victim of it too. So I can't even complain. I think it's cool. I think it's fair. Especially
to that, I know there was some talk amongst several of the owners in which they would have appreciated if a member of the admin could have reached out to them and notified them that they're approaching their sims. We thought about different ways we can do that, but it would be really hard for us to manage and count. I mean, and do that. And we felt that at this point in time, every single body in the league is grown men, adults with families and jobs and careers. And we don't think it's too much to ask that you yourself as the owner, remain aware of how many sims you got. Like let's be honest, if you've simmed a certain amount of your games in the season or if you've been active or you haven't. It's kind of a lot. We felt it a little bit unfair to ask us to reach out and let you know, hey, you got 6 sims. Like, we feel at this point in time, we're all adult enough to where we should be able to manage that ourselves, and you should know and be able to track your own sim. So basically, it's going to be on you guys. Now, we will try to remind people at various points in the season, not personally, not saying, hey, Joe, remember, you're at 4 sims, but we will remind people of the rule at various points in the season. So if you feel you're in that situation, you tighten it up and actually play the games.
Sure. Especially if it's something like week 8 or whatever, like the end of the trade deadline, halfway through the season. Like, you guys, whoever it is, at this point, it's halfway through the season. Make sure you check your sims. Something as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you guys have to really go out and above and be on a DM every individual who has, on their path to 6 sims. That's a lot. That's asking a lot. So again, I think it's fair. You guys, you guys seem to be fair. The position change is always a thing, Bill. I know you guys talk about it. I've always spoke about it. The safeties, CBs and the safeties, I think, to me, that person, I always thought it was something that was cool. And then if it had parameters set around it, I think it like help a lot of it. Like if he is 30 years old, if his speed is under a certain cap or something like that. But either way, it's fine for me.
Yeah, go find one. Yeah, we looked at it. I looked at it. The age 30 and under, say under 90 speed. I think I found one. So it's like you really want to cheat. We didn't want to create a rule where it was going to have one CB switch to safety. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Now we also, talked about tight ends and fullbacks. That's another one, and we talked about some of that, and having some of those tight ends in the backfield. I mean, there's some sets that already give you that.
Yeah.
But if you could line up a tight end back there that's got decent speed, man, he can set the edge for you. He might not be the best blocker, but if he gets out there with the 89, 88 speed, he's in that CB's way at least. You make one cut and you're gone, Yeah. So we talked about all this, and we want it to be a competitive game, but it's not as it's still a game, so it's hard to make some of those changes without making it kind of unrealistic in some ways.
Sure, and I think you're right on the nose, man. There are some sets that do that. Even on defense, there's sets that allow you to put CBs at safeties. Safeties at linebacker and things like that. The sub package alone helps that. If you put that,
well, we tried to make sure that our sub packages, if you're putting a CB in, like a CB is a CB and a safety is a safety, because we found that a lot of people were putting those extremely fast safeties down in linebacker situations, and it's a big difference. It's a big difference, man, especially when you have a tackling safety that's got great speed. So we, that's our idea with the sub packages is we want, if you're subbing a CB should be a CB, a safety should be a safety.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying like you manually do it. I'm saying as far as certain sets allow you to do that, like certain defensive sets and certain packages inside of that set let you do it.
Yeah, there's certain packages.
Yeah.
Just like there's some packages that throw a halfback as a fullback. There's some
or halfback as a receiver. You know what I'm saying? So,
there's packages like that. You're right.
Yeah. So if you use that, then I think that's different than you actually manually going in and doing it.
Sure.
So I know as we approach the free agency, there's always a thing with salaries and all of that. Do you guys want to jump on that as far as
Yeah, the easy. You going to talk about that?
No,
it's really just being green.
There was one last rule change before we got on to that, and that's playoffs related too. It seems like a lot of stuff we did was playoffs related, and that's the fact that we're not going to allow teams in the playoffs that play in snow cities to wear all white. Like, in other words, if you're going into, I don't know, Kansas City in the dead of winter and it's snowing there, you can't come out in an all-white uniform. It's really difficult to see. It kind of creates a cheap advantage. It creates havoc. Like, come on. So
Cletus got to let that go, man. Cletus has to let that go.
Well, no, hold on.
I'm just teasing.
But it wasn't Cletus that brought it up. This was actually something that I've been harping on like 2 Maddens ago. Like, if you really want to know the background from it, I just didn't push it. I actually feel like the home team should be the one allowed to select a uniform first. You're home for a reason. I get tired of going in the screen that somebody else has picked their uniform already and they're dictating to me what I got to wear. I'm home. But I didn't want to make it too petty. But I'm the one that actually suggested, and I pushed this for a while now, that people shouldn't be allowed to wear all white in the snow. I think it's cheese dick. It's just corny. There's no place for it. It's cheap.
Well, I thought we figured that out. Like, I thought you guys said, like, if you happen to pick your jersey and it's snow, you guys got to reset it and pick different jerseys or something like that.
Well, we didn't actually have any legislature around it. So technically, if somebody did it, you can't say it's a rule. We don't do unspoken rules in the league either. We have it legislated, and you can look it up, and it's on our website, or we don't.
It might be in there.
Okay. I thought we had talked about that. Like,
yeah, I think we might have put it in there at one point in time. I'm not sure if it's still around. I need to look real quick.
Yeah,
But yeah, with the color rush colors, man. I mean, most guys can run their color rush. And it's very rare that you're going to have the same team on the color rush. Maybe a Jacksonville and the Steelers, but have some dark unis. But yeah, that's true. And as far as the free agency bidding goes, the big thing about that is we just want you to be green. You know, you want your bid should be green. You know, we don't want you going there and stealing a guy for, you know, if you're yellow and things like that, you're probably not offering him what he wants. You know, so and of course we've always said any of those players over 30, you know, you don't have to sign them to a multiple year deal, but you definitely got to at least break it down. You know, if he wants $6 million over 3 years, you got to at least offer him $6 million for a year. You know, that type of thing. We don't want you to be stuck with a guy that's, you know, that you want to pay for 1 year. You know, 1 or 2 years. You know, that doesn't make sense. You know, because you want to get one good year out of the guy. We understand that, but at the same time, you know, if you're bidding on a guy, we want to make sure that you're paying him what's a fair value. So
okay, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Is there anything else as far as the rules go? I feel like, you know, that was the stuff we had to get out of the way first.
That was it. We knocked out the 3 playoffs and we discussed the positions. And like Bill said, we didn't see enough data to support actually changing the rule to where it would make a difference. And that's basically where we left it. We did agree that we're going to look to try to vote on more things in the commission chat amongst ourselves sometimes when there's controversial issues. And we're going to look to try and set up a PlayStation party from time to time if a really hot pivotal issue comes up and address it right then and there as opposed to letting it linger. But that was more internally with us. That was the extent of the commission conversations around the rules.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Gates. I found that rule. It's in the rules. It's in the event of a late season game when snow is involved. The home team has the choice of the visiting team's uniform colors, i.e., no all white.
Yeah.
So that's in there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I remember we had talked about. I think we even talked about here on one of the episodes. Now I want to get into some of the you know, meat and potatoes of the show. As far as how do you guys feel about the playoffs and the games? I think you had mentioned the Super Bowl. I thought the Super Bowl was pretty dope. I thought Dre was going to bring it home for the NFC, and he didn't. Also, real quick, I want to shout out to my homie. Welcome back, Candyman. So, Cletus, now you get the chance to prove that statement yet again. He's not in your division, but we'll see what's up, man. He'll be actually the Chargers. So
in the AFC, man.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out. How many Super Bowls does the AFC have?
That all of them to this point.
Yeah, we got all of them, man. You guys are gonna show up next year?
Yeah, Tick
they
have 4. Tick has 1.
Here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Cletus has 1. So we're going to season 5 and have the first 4. Now, I do want to address something about Candy's placement before this goes any further, because I know how the league is. I know how everybody thinks. Oh, well, you know, he didn't get put in the division with Cletus to protect Cletus or some weirdo crap like that. Somebody's going to have the grow brain, and that's going to come up. Let me explain how Candy's placement was determined. The league was full, right? There was no spot for him. But we did have about 5 owners that weren't very good owners and weren't very communicative and weren't playing their game. Bill did it very diplomatically. We looked and broke down who had the most sim games. And then on top of that, who was not communicative on top of that. So somebody could have had 7 sim games, but maybe they was reaching out to the commission team going, hey, I can't play this week. Put me on auto. I got this going on. Hey, I can't play for a couple of games. I'm going on vacation. When it came down to the Chargers was the only scenario in which he was an owner that hadn't played a good 7-8 games. He was not communicative. No one's heard from this guy. He's not active in the chat. He doesn't respond to commission DMs. He just wasn't active at all. So since we couldn't determine the status, he was the low man out. So that was the one team that became available. That's why he got removed, and that's how Candy got charged. It didn't have nothing to do with where he should go or shouldn't go. The truth be told, Cletus wanted him in the East because he wanted to silence everyone who always feels that he gets a free pass. And the truth be told, I wanted him in the NFC. I wanted to create competitive balance. I figured with this new skins owner that's supposed to be good, with your return Gates and with Candy's, I felt we would have really nice balanced competition between both divisions. But the fair thing to do was to remove the Chargers because not only did he have the most amount of sims, he also hasn't communicated to anybody about anything, and he's just not active. That's how he got placed.
Cool for me. I as long as he got in, I didn't care. I didn't care. I was just happy to see him back.
And that's kind of what we said. It's like, hey man, he's in the AFC. Someday those paths are going to cross. It doesn't matter who. If you're going to get to the ship, man, you got to go through some great competition in both leagues, both sides of both divisions, both. There's good competition here. You can't dodge anybody in this league.
Yeah, and welcome to the new Redskins owner. Candy's now the Chargers. Who's the Dolphins now? Anybody?
But in Rickster's defense, he was somebody we consider for possible removal. The reason why he didn't get removed, he had an enormous amount of sim games, but he was very vocal and communicated to Commish Chat. He wanted to apologize for not being able to be active this season. He works a graveyard shift. It wasn't so much he wasn't active as much as it was his window to play was at like 12 midnight. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't a lot of people dying to wait until 1 a.m. EST or whatever to play a game. He said his schedule should be changing, and he's looking to be more active, and he was proactive with bringing that to us and letting us know that, as opposed to us having to knock on his door and go, "What's going on, man?" So it's a guy named the Rickster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in about a week or so, his schedule actually changes. He's coming back to he's out of the vampire shift, so he should be more active.
Okay.
That's what he's waiting on. It's tough, man. And we had a guy that in the early stages of the USFL, we had a guy over from the UK, man. That it was like, he wanted to play him, man. It was some strange hours, man, to play that guy.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, welcome all the new owners and returning owners. Bill, talk to me, man. Your division, you got some new competition in your division. How do you feel about it? That's been your division for a while. I figured you had an opportunity to be, king of that division, and some new guys are there.
Well, I got to give Tick his props. He's super. He won the Super Bowl. Hey, man, I got a Super Bowl champ in my division. I played him some tough games. But he's good, man. He's good competition. I ran 10-6 this year. Wasn't good enough to get in the playoffs. So I played. I think it was Prime. Prime was out early on, and I played the CPU, and the damn CPU beat me like 21-17 or something like that. That might have been the reason I was out of the playoffs. But hey, no excuse, man. Just like you say, I got everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. You got to come in and play, man. It's a tough league. But I'm getting some things together and everything. I know. I seen the previous box where you were talking about. Maybe we should put on turn the coach firing on, and maybe we should do a pool and things like that. But this is just my belief and my thoughts is people love this league for a reason. You would love to be ATL. I know you want to beat the Falcons, man. And if you were ATL and you were the Falcons, you'd probably never give them up again. So and that's what keeps this league strong. People get to play with their favorite team, and they get to build their team. That's what keeps people coming around. I think, personally, is that keeps the league strong because they're playing with their favorite team. They're getting to build their favorite team. They're getting to play with them each week, and that keeps this league going from Madden to Madden. And I get it. It's nice to change it up some once in a while, but I do believe that that's why people really love to stay with this game when we play Madden to Madden. It's because you get to play with your team. And I was talking to Boone because I know he's dying to get the Cowboys. And so I was like, what, we need to get an owner and waiting list going, man, because there's a lot of people that want to have, like you said, they want to be the Steelers, they want to be the Cowboys, they want to be their favorite team, they want to be the Falcons. So when those opportunities come around, we need to make sure that those guys that have been in our league for a long time get that opportunity. They should be the first one. They should be the first one in line. Get the Falcons. It's Steelers, and that's just my thought.
Oh man!
Real quick, I had to.
Hey, Raider Nation, you see what I'm doing? My eyes, brother. I got my eyes on you.
So here we go. So real quickly, I had this, secret guest here.
Nice.
I don't know if you can hear us, but yeah, I want to welcome everybody, Raiders Nation, to the show. Yeah, let me see. Can we hear you?
Y'all hear me?
Can we hear you? Say it. Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're there.
Well, welcome to the show, good brother, man. You've been in the league what, 2 seasons now?
2 years.
2 years. This is the second year. Yeah, this is the second year.
Second year. So man, give me a breakdown on this league. Give us like your Madden history as far as like how long you've been playing Madden. Have you been doing CFMs, other leagues versus this league, and then you can go right into your spiel right from there because I heard you got a lot to say, secretly. I heard you got a lot on your mind. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Appreciate that. Gates. I'm gonna shout y'all out. But first, shout out my NWO brothers. Shout out to everybody from the NWO. We in here. Shout out to Raider Nation. Shout out to Bill let me in the league, man. Appreciate that. Bill, you that dude. Ty, you can't do nothing wrong in my eyes. You my dude. Shout out to Gates for putting me in the chat and just, being there. So start out like that. So let me just get into my Madden history. I've been playing Madden for a while. I go back with Dre years, playing Madden back and forth. And as far as getting into the leagues, this is the first official league that I've really been in. Like that's the most official. Been in other leagues. They didn't really last too long for other reasons, but this one's legit. But y'all know that I'm gonna be vocal whenever y'all see me. I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel, and it's gonna be. It is what it is, and I got a lot to talk about. So yeah, that's my opening statement.
Okay, so it was as one of the new owners in the league. Well, as the new guys, because a lot of us are vets. How do you feel the competition is?
To be real with y'all, I feel like the competition is really top heavy. I feel like it's really top heavy. Now there's a lot of people that I see that I look at the record. I'm like, I don't even know how they got that record. They competitive people. So, like for instance, the freaking Cowboys, and it was like several other people I've seen that's moving. Everybody I don't know. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, these people, they know how to play. But as far as what I see, you see the same team getting in the playoffs. So this year was a little bit different in the NFC, which was good to see. But, in the AFC, it's been the same 6 teams in, 4 years straight, basically.
Yeah, so you got, I like to look at this league like, it's like the pros, right? Like, everybody's the man where you're from, right? But then when you get into this 32 seed league, like this league, you're playing with everybody who's the man where they from. But then you got to step up a certain level to be top tier.
Yeah.
Ty, you agree? Bill, maybe you agree?
Actually, I do. And on top of that, I've said this a zillion times. I agree with Rashad 100%. And I've always said this. The line in this league between winning and losing is very, very thin, and it's easy to blur. I think the reason why you see the same people consistently play in the offs and the same people not is the little things, but they're the time-consuming things. Like, I talk to Cowboys Moondog a lot. He is a good competitor, but his time is limited to lab. He works a lot of hours. A lot of times he works a graveyard shift or he works 12, 14-hour days. He's a family man, so when he gets in, he's basically picking up the sticks ice cold and letting it rip. And if he's hot and he plays a good one, he plays a good one. But the folks that don't consistently make it are the folks that's not labbing. They're the folks that's not adjusting. They're the folks that aren't doing the little things to get past the level they're at, so they just stay where they're at. Meanwhile, the people that's consistently succeeding, they're constantly tweaking their playbook. They're constantly adding new plays. They're constantly looking at game film. They're constantly labbing. They're constantly playing online. They're doing those little things. So if everybody's the man where they're from, but boom, the dream team. Everybody was the man on the dream team, but not everybody was going to sit in the gym with Jordan and shoot 500 jumpers at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Question, Raiders, man. I picked you to win the Super Bowl. Answer to me this. I picked you to go to the Super Bowl. Where did you drop the ball at? What happened? Talk to me, man.
Shout out to Boone, man. He got it done when it counted. My team just was prepared. I guess I didn't do enough to get them ready. I've never played it that bad of a game. I had a 0 quarterback QBR. I don't even know how I was in that game. I had a 0 QBR. That's never happened to me. So shout out to Boone. He executed well. He ran the ball well when he needed to. He won. I mean, there's nothing I can say about that. I just think that my team just wasn't ready to play that game.
I so respect that answer.
I respect that. I respect that.
You was always a good dude, but you just would. Well, I respect that, man. That answer.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can sit there and say, "Hey, man," it's like what I said after Dre. Made it to the NFC Championship. Confident in my team. Held Dre to 170 total yards on any other given day. That should be good enough to win when you hold somebody 170 yards. Problem was he held me to the same amount of yards, and he got 5 picks. That I knew what his game plan was. He shaded up top. He played cover 4 majority of the game. He took away the ability for me to go up top. And my dumb ass, seeing that, should have adjusted and just ate him up underneath. I didn't do it because I was leery of his user. I kept trying to bust him. As the longer the game went on, I had that mentality because I've been hitting big plays all year. I'm just a big play away. But I kept feeding him what he wanted to do. So at the end of the game, I tipped my hat. The man was 16-0 for a reason. He's a great player. He's a good friend of mine. I respect what he did. I had no excuses. I didn't execute. I didn't adjust in game, and he did. And he won, and I lost. And that's what it is. Learn from it, and I'll come back next year. And in the same scenario, I'm going to take what he's giving me and not try to force my game plan on him.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, you know, I know there's a couple people asking, like, the Bears was asking who's Candyman, and I know the Raiders, you never heard of him. We kind of spoke about him even on the last one. He's been a solid player that we've been playing with for, like, you know, since like the PS3 days. Super, super conservative, super smart, man. It's gonna be tough. He's gonna be tough in your division. So I'm just giving you a heads up right now. He's a Super Bowl winner. He wins Super Bowls. You got a Super Bowl under your belt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to see how that division now shakes up. I know the Redskins. You said the Redskins is a good owner, right? I heard he's supposed to be good, allegedly.
I don't know. I just know that Cypher Squad has played in other leagues for him. Character said he's a consistent player. He plays all his games, and he's pretty good. So he should be a challenge.
Okay. And then we have my division. I can't let Dre go 16-0, man. Good God, man. The competitive in me will not let this man go 16. I haven't played him in a while, but I can't let this man go 16-0. And then how if y'all play head to head, who wins that battle? If y'all had to play 10 games, who wins that battle? You or him?
Me and Dre?
Yeah, best out of 10.
You know, Dre, that's my dude, man. You know, that's my A1 day one dude, man. He's smart. He's a smart player. He's conservative. He's not gonna make mistakes. He knows if he makes mistakes, it's a wrap. I tend not to make mistakes, but if we go head to head, man, you know, it could go either way. We could go 50-50 in 10 games.
Listen to me, man. I don't need the politically correct answer right now. I want the real competitive answer right there.
Hey, don't let Gates beat you and start.
Hit me up in the DM if you want that.
That's what I said. Don't let Gates bait you in the start.
Man, that's my. I talk to Dre every day. If I'm not in the game, even if I'm not in the league, I talk to Dre every day, like 365 days a year. That's my dude. Yeah, that's my dude. So
that's cool. You had anything to say or questions for the commission while we're here?
I do got a question for the commissioners. I know they mentioned talking about 6 games. I think you guys said 6 games is the max on your games, which gets you a bye, or not a bye, but you get to get simmed in the playoffs if you get 6 or more.
5. So right. So you can have 5 sims, and you're okay. You get that 6th sim, that's a wrap.
So how do you guys determine how do you guys determine, like, going back, like, say it's week 17, how do you determine going back and seeing who has that many? You go to see how many games were played when you go and look at that at the schedule?
Well, keep in mind, there's a multitude of ways, right? So everybody's communicative. So if I'm scheduling Rashad and I've made attempts to reach out to you on day one and you're not responding, and we get to day two and you're still not responding past the 30-hour mark, I can then contact the commission, go, hey, listen, Bill, I've tried to contact Rashad. I've hit him up in the main chat. I've DM'd him. He hasn't gotten a response. Can I put him on auto? Yes. We get the screenshot. We see that. You get placed on auto. That's a strike against you that counts towards a sim. Or you may know you're going on vacation and you're going to miss 2 games. You hit us up in the commission chat. Can you guys put me on auto for 2 games? I'm going to be on vacation. That's 2 strikes against you. So basically, in any time somebody's communicating with a commish and explaining their situation, we're looking at the circumstances and determining if you're the reason the game couldn't get played. Basically, the strike goes against you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, just to let you know, just to clarify that, it's a 5 game. It's five non-played games. We changed that rule, I want to say a couple seasons ago. We had it at 6, and we were like, man,
right,
5 seems like the magical number, really. So we just dropped it a game. It's 5 games not played. So it can be sins. It could be your opponent's playing the computer. That's the key factor there, and it's pretty easy. You go through a lot of times. You can like, it depends. You know whether you played the game or not, or if we've been asked if we put on auto, or then you can always see if a game was just straight up sin as well. So, and trust me, that's the last thing we want to do, man. We want our best players playing the games in the freaking end of season when they're supposed to be.
I want to add to that. I appreciate you guys mentioning how you guys see that. So what I did was I went through and I started looking through the league schedule, individual teams, and I started looking at seeing what games were played, what games weren't played. So I started going through the teams and just kind of looking, because I'm always, if y'all don't know me, I'm always on the game. I'm always looking. I'm always in a free agency. I'm always looking at people's teams. I know every person on my team by their name, and I probably know half of where their colleges are. I'm in the game. Like, I'm in this game. So just to let everybody know. But so I'm looking around at the schedule, and I see that, I know everybody knows Tick got suspended. Tick had 5 games that I saw that were unplayed. That's why he got his sim in the playoffs. So I said, okay, I get that. And then I go to see that today, when you guys removed the Chargers, I said he had 5 games sim. I'm like, okay, he had, from what I saw. This is from what I saw on the schedule. 5 games unplayed. And then one of the commissioners, which is the Broncos, mentioned if you don't play your games, you get simmed.
He said that more. Let me clarify. He said that more jokingly when he said if you don't play your games, you get the boot. So I don't know if you get the show, but that's why I clarified why he got the boot and why Candy got that team. That's literally why I explained the process we went through. It wasn't we picked a random name out of a hat and decided let's put him here. Not only did he have unplayed games, but there was no communication from him to the admins at any time. There were several rules during the course of the season he broke, which admins directly contacted him to remove. Like, you brought up a good point that caught our attention when you said, hey, man, this dude, how's he the coach of the year? Because he had like Mike Tomlin or some weird crap. So like when week 8 hit, he was automatically up for coach of the year because Mike Tomlin had legacy. So we had issues with him getting the 53 people on the roster. We had issues with him removing his fictitious coach, and he was non-communicative. So at that point, he's disengaged from the league. It's not just he's not playing. We want active owners that's going to play, participate, etc. And he was the least active owner, period, of anything.
I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, Ty. I'm a very good listener. Anybody that really knows me, I understand what you're saying. What I'm seeing on from what I'm seeing from the league is that I've seen in one particular division where I just mentioned that the Chargers missed 5 games. One division where 3 owners one missed 6 games, one missed 6 games, and one missed 7 games in one division. And I just want to know, is there ever going to be any kind of repercussion for those, even though they might stay active in the chat? They might be active in the chat. They might be trading and signing free agents, but they're missing almost half a season.
Yes.
So you mean that nothing's going to happen to these guys and they get to stay in the league? And mind you already know what division I'm talking about. I ain't even got to mention it.
I do, and you better believe today, Gates is aware, because that's why we made the owner's box late. One of the first things we brought up in the commish chat was at the end of each season, we reviewed the activity level of owners. Certain people are given warnings. Certain people are flat out kicked, because it's not just playing your games. It's the amount of participation in the league. Now, keep this in mind. This Madden, a lot of people are not happy with this Madden. So I feel we kind of somewhat, I don't want to say we lowered the standard, but normally we have great recruiting and we keep a full league. If you notice, most of this year, we had empty slots. This is the first time since like the beginning of the game where we have a full league. So sometimes, even though somebody might not be super active, we won't necessarily kick them, because what we don't want is 8 or 9 computer teams in the league. That's not fun for nobody. But when we're full, like right now, we're very strict on, hey, if you're not going to, be active and participate, especially if we have a waiting list, you're done. Like last year, I think you came right after that. We booted several people last year for non-activity. We got people that's lining up wanting to play in the league, and you're gonna hold the team hostage and not play, you're done.
Okay. Yeah. I just feel like I had to voice my opinion on that and let y'all know that I'm watching too. Like I get we got this new guy, Candyman, whatever his name is. Welcome to the league. Welcome to the division. Good luck to you. I ain't gonna like you because you're in my division. So,
Yeah, Dre texted me and he said, "Stop being humble, man." So you're here being humble, man. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, like I just gotta feel like I gotta voice my opinion. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with the league. Everything's going smooth. I'm just ready to get this next season kicked off. For real.
Okay. Any advice for a person like myself who hasn't been in the league, as far as what type of tip you can give me? What's your Madden tip? Since you're the new guest, I figure you get a Madden tip for the show.
Yeah, I got plenty of tips, man. Plenty of tips. See, for me it's different. Like I'm a Raider. Like I have Raider blood in me. So like when I do it like I represented my team. Like I don't know. It's kind of like an inner feeling. I don't know if you're a Seahawks fan. You're a Falcons fan. That's right.
I'm a Falcons fan.
So I mean, playing without your team, it's just that you just gotta kind of get the pieces around you that you need. You know how to play. You won bowls before, I'm sure. But the thing is, for me, it's just staying mentally tough. I think that's the biggest thing for me is, like, I don't know if you watch a lot of my games.
I'll keep an eye on you. I see what you're doing.
When I lost, like I've lost to Tick. I lost to the Jags. I lost to Boone and even the Chiefs. The Chiefs was a good one too. When I lost to the Chiefs, if you notice that when I play, I'm probably like there's only a certain amount of people I see in this league that have a real strong mental toughness in the game to where you could be down 14 and still come back. Ty proved that in the playoffs too, where you could be down and the other person might think the game is over, but in the back of your mind it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over to the bell to last the last whistle goes. And if you watch that Chiefs game when I played the Chiefs, he beat me, but he was up the whole game. I think he was up like 14 or something like that. I wound up coming back and throwing a touchdown right before the end of the game, which went into overtime. And I wound up losing overtime. That field goal. I missed that field goal.
Incredible.
I missed like a 15-yard field goal. And he wound up going down and hitting the game winner or whatever. But the game was basically sold up. I don't even know how I got to that point, but the thing is mentally staying tough. No matter if you're down, no matter if you're up, just knowing that, everybody in here is they played this game before, so you just don't know, especially playing good users, and don't sleep on nobody. I found that out the hard way.
Yeah, you know, you can play. It's funny because you can play a guy whose record's 1-10, man, and he give you more competition than one of the top tier guys. Like, yo, what is going on? You know what I'm saying?
I lost to Joe in this league. My brother Joe, NWO, when he had the cards, I lost to him. I'm like, oh, the cards ain't doing good. I could play these guys and just, you know, get my stats up. I started playing. I'm like, man, I might lose this game. And then next thing you know, I lost. I'm just like, you just can't sleep. Like there's certain games where I almost lost to Moondog. And I looked at his record. I was like, oh, maybe I could, you know, do some. I remember Moondog was the Broncos, I think, last year or something. But no, maybe he wasn't. I know I played him before. But looking at his record, I'm just like, man, I may be able to do something against him. And next thing you know, the score was 7-6. He held me to 7 points. That hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I was talking about this with Gates last week. I think where people get lulled into a false sense of security is that you can be a very solid player and a good user, and it puts your head in a certain space, like you said, where you start looking at records and thinking, I got this. But I really feel like this game is like boxing. And you know how they always say in boxing, styles make fights. You might come across somebody, and if you throw the record out the window, the way they play the game, their style, their pace, their tempo, their defense, their offense can give you fits. And I don't think the game is necessarily so much about records. And I think that's why you see that type of stuff, because it's about the actual matchup of styles.
Right. I agree with that. I like to see Bill in the playoffs too make some noise. Try to come out. That 10-6 ain't good enough in the AFC, brother. You got to get to 11 or 12 wins. You know that.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? I had Bell out for 6 weeks. I had AB out for 4 weeks. So, hey, man, I'll take 10-6 with those key players out, man. You know, I was trying to make do, but obviously it hurt me in the long run. You know, so but hey, I'm getting some pieces in place. Hey, finally got Roth's gone, AB's gone, and so it's going to be a different Steeler team, that's for sure. It's going to be pretty interesting. I got some pieces in place, though.
You got to make some noise. Switch up. I'm coming with it. So just be ready. I don't know who on my schedule, but
I hear you.
I used to believe that, man. I used to believe that.
You're gonna have all those number ones too. You're gonna be hitting. See, you probably get Tick. You probably get Ty. You get a lot of those guys. You know, ones play ones usually, so that'll be interesting. You know, it's great competition though.
That's the thing is I felt like my schedule was crazy hard last year. I mean, looking at the top dogs, I played all the AFC guys. I played Ty. I played the Reds. I played a really tough schedule last year, and then my division obviously, but I just like to see more teams, you know, just stepping their way up and making some noise. That's what I like to see.
You know what? And I want to give Raiders a shout out while we at it, because he just said something that I don't think a lot of people realized. I went 14-2. I lost a wacky game to the computer after the patch because I felt like the computer played differently after the patch, and I went in there with the same game plan I always play the computer with. I did exactly what Raiders said. I looked at the Saints. It was like 4-6. I laughed. I was tired. I didn't feel like playing, but I'm like, man, I'm going to smash them in my sleep. I ain't lost a computer in a couple of years. And everybody was like, this is when the patch affected the way the zones played. Everybody was on some shit, but why I want to give Raiders a shout out is he was my only human loss in the season before the playoffs. I was actually beating Raiders up until the half, and I'll keep it real. I felt like I was dominating the first half of that game. I hit him quick. I know he probably wasn't used to my gameplay. I hit him quick. And all of a sudden, right before the half, I forgot what happened. It was a freak play, but not like a lucky play. It was a busted coverage somewhere, and it was a big play that went deep. And I want to say he had just went ahead literally with 0 seconds on the clock in half. He got the ball first and followed it up with another busted play for a big score. And after that, he then adjusted. I was in shell shock. I think my ability to adjust wasn't there because I just couldn't believe the turn of events. Like, he literally scored 14 points in 10 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. I think it was a kickoff return to start. So I was just like, what the hell just happened? And after that, he wound up winning like 30-something to 20. But that was the only loss I had that season. Human loss. So shout out to him for that.
That mental toughness, man.
Yeah,
It was just shocking to me because I mean, it's if it would have been slow and methodical, that's one thing I felt like I would have adjusted. But it happened so quick. I'm like, man, what the hell just happened here? Because both of the plays, one of them, that's what it was. He did to me, Gates, what I did to you one time we played last season. It was the end of the half, and this dude ran like a weird running play, but he was on like his 30-yard line, so he has 70 yards to go. So I'm backing everybody up. I'm making sure he ain't gonna hit me deep. This dude took a running play like 70 yards, and you see it happening, but you're thinking, man, I got dudes all over the field. Somebody's gonna catch this dude. Oh shit, he got past the first wave. He got past the second wave, but I see dudes coming at an angle. Oh shit, the way he's running at that angle, I'm not gonna make that angle. Man, this dude's gonna score with no time on the clock on a running play for 70 yards. What the hell just happened right here?
Yeah, that's why I don't even call that no more. I learned that from that game. So I was like, yo, that'll never again happen. I think Green Bay did it to me a couple of seasons ago too, and I was very active. He did the same thing. It was like 5 seconds left. I was in quarters.
Right.
Play everybody deep. He broke some 60, 70-yard run. I was hot. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but then imagine that being followed up by the opening kickoff going back against you. So you go up from, yo, man, I'm playing really well against a top competitor. I got the game control. I'm holding him at bay. I'm able to do my thing to that play happening. And then him opening up the third quarter with a 90-yard kickoff. So, like, literally within 5 seconds of the second half, in 5 seconds, in 10 seconds, you go from, like, being in firm control of the game to, man, I'm down by, like, 2. I really don't know what just happened right now.
But you tell me that you normally do when you feel the momentum change. What do you do?
What do I do when the momentum changes?
Call a timeout. You said you call a timeout. Just call a timeout.
Look, I call a timeout. But like I said, though, I got stunned. Picture it like this. You in a regular fight, a street fight. Yeah. You beating dude down. Dude catches you with a haymaker uppercut you didn't see coming. And them little birds is flying over your head. They going tweet, tweet, tweet. The stars is there. And then he follows it up with that right cross straight across. Even though you was winning the whole fight, all of a sudden you on your ass. Like, and people are waking you up going, you got knocked up out. That's what happened.
Hold on, bro. I go down the round. Give me time out.
Yeah.
I got you. Bill, any comments, man? Or you been quiet, man?
Yeah, well, one, thanks for shout out. I appreciate the shout out. When he first came in, he was like, I'm really a Raiders fan. So when Boyle left, he was like, hey, man, I mean, he's like, his eyes got big as dinner plates, man. Hey, the Raiders are open. He said, can I get up? Boom, he was over there in no time, man. It was pretty comical. But, and that's what I was telling you earlier. I think that's what makes this league great is people get to play with the teams they love. Dre's playing with the Niners. He's playing with the Raiders. I'm playing with the Steelers. You want to play with the Falcons. Ty's playing with the Giants. That keeps us all here, man. That keeps us here playing Madden and Madden, and that's why I think this league is so successful. That's really personal.
The issue is, though, guys like you, Bill, and like Ronnie, y'all had to die first before y'all give up them teams. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to have to change. I have to switch the commish over to Ty or something, I guess, man.
Yeah, you're like, I'm about to die.
I will, okay?
Yeah, don't let anybody get my team. I'm dying.
There's a lot of Steeler fans out there too, man, and I know that my record's not respectful for the Steelers. I'll just say that. Not the greatest shooter. I've already told you that. I have tried to tone down the chaos. So I'll just tell you that it's not as much chaos. I've got a little more organized, so we'll go that route.
Okay, cool. I mean, 10-6 is good. You just unfortunately,
it's a step in the right direction.
AFC, but
I mean, Ty, I think it's like the first time AFC like really dominated the Super Bowls like that, right?
Yeah, but Cletus actually said this before. It's kind of real. Everything's cyclical. I want to say last year the NFC jumped out. Remember me and you used to talk all that smack, and then the AFC came back. I mean, and this is what I tried to explain to Cletus that one time we was debating it in the chat. I know he wasn't a fan of me saying that, hey, well, certain people moved over. But look at that lineup that Raiders said is representing the AFC East. Half of that lineup came from us last year. So it's not a matter of, I get what Cletus is saying, you're going to have turnover all of the time. But if right now Raiders came to the NFC, Cletus came to the NFC, and Boone came to the NFC, you can't look at it and then go, what happened to the AFC? You know what happened. their lead dogs moved over. And,
Raiders ain't doing nothing. Raiders ain't doing nothing in the NFC.
But it was an example, though. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't got no work in the NFC. It's a different game over here. They ain't coming over here. They ain't coming over here.
I would definitely go to the AFC East way before I go to the. If I'm switching to the AFC East, I'm just letting that out there.
That you would go to the AFC East
before the NFC.
And y'all already know why.
Why is that?
Who's the only dude in the AFC doing anything?
He wants a piece of Cletus.
Oh, that's it. Cletus. But you know, Boone is my guy, though. You said Boone beat you, though.
You said Boone is?
Yeah, Boone's that's my guy, though. He said
Boone beat me. Fan square. I mean, like I said, his team was ready. I'm just letting you know I'm bringing it. Ain't gonna be no games. Ain't gonna be no. Oh no, Raider Nation. Why you had to? Nope. There's gonna be no games that.
I would love to see Cletus in NFC, but he's a Jets fan, right?
But Boone is actually the only dude in this league who beat me by more than a touchdown. I know that game more than a touchdown. He beat me 10, but the year before he blew me out. I don't know if that 34-10. He beat the crap out of me. He's the only dude that beat me by more than a touchdown. And him and Tick only do that in this Madden. So I'm looking forward to more competition. I know it's supposed to be nice. Broncos got to get it together. We had the strongest division in the
Okay. Speaking of getting together, man, who would you put on your get it together list?
Get it together. I like to do competitive teams in each division. Like at least what I mean by that is 2 teams in each division at least going to win. So we got that in the AFC South. We got that in the AFC North. Just don't East right now. Like get stronger. And that's calling out the Patriots probably first because he's and then hopefully the dog picks it up.
Okay. So in your opinion, what's the strongest division and what's the weakest division?
Shoot, the NFC East was really strong. I don't know how this Redskins owner is going to be. I know my boy Mo fell off last year. Hopefully he comes back on. But the NFC East was really strong. But strongest right now, like I said, I don't know about these new users that are here. I guess you got to throw it to the AFC South, I guess.
That jumped to my mind too, just immediately, because I know you have Boones and Syfe, but then you got Texans. And I'm trying to think.
Ty, you there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear him.
I don't hear him. Bill, can you hear Ty?
No, he's not. I see him. I don't hear him though.
Yeah.
Hear him.
Yeah, I think I sound good.
There you go. We hear you now.
There he is. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
I was saying I agree with Rashad. That kind of jumped in my mind too, for the simple fact you got Syfe Squad, the Jags, and you got Boone, and they're forever locked in a tough battle. But then you have Texans, then you have Colts, and Colts hasn't been the same at all this 19 and 18. He was a contender, so I don't know. That is a good question. It's tough. I'm trying to think. I think it is kind of lining up. Honestly, I'm not gonna say. I think the AFC West will be the strongest division this year, in my opinion. I know what Candyman brings to the table. We go back, him and Gates, a few different leagues. I know what Rashad brings to the table, and Lincoln Hector, the Chiefs ain't no joke.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs.
Right, and then Doc can get on one of them rolls.
Yeah, he's
Doc is in a tough division, though.
Just
in a competitive division.
In Chargers, the AFC West is going to be the toughest division to me.
Yeah, Doc unfortunately is in a tough division, man.
Weakest division?
Mine? The NFC West?
Nah, it ain't the NFC West.
AFC East.
Cardinals was right there. The Cardinals right there to making the playoffs.
Hey, Gates, your division gets a honorable mention for toughest division too, because I keep telling you, Earl can play. So if that dude actually plays his games, see now everybody got caught up on Tick and disqualified. Earl got disqualified too. Earl was in the playoffs. He got forced out, but Earl can play, Dre can play, and you can play. So y'all are right there in that mix with the AFC West.
Okay, what about the Rams? How's the Rams?
It's one of things, friends. He's a newer dude. When he took the team over, it was late in the year, and they already had like 1,000 losses. I want to say he only played 3 games, but he was 2-1. So it's to be seen. But if that dude like is even 8-8 combined with you, Gates, y'all might even be stronger than the AFC West.
Okay. So then what? AFC East weakest division?
I would probably say that. I'll probably say so. I mean, the record, I guess, kind of shows it, but a lot of those games were sim games in the AFC East. So I just think that's probably it. I mean, you could probably pick another one in the NFC, but yeah, I would go with AFC East.
Which is why Cletus is Tom Brady. This is what I'm saying, Ty. That's my man, 50 grand and all.
Too easy.
Tom Brady, bro.
Okay, but let me.
I'm just teasing. I know Cletus watch. I'm just teasing.
But I'm gonna say this though. It's the same thing legitimately. I've said this a long time ago. Cletus is Tom Brady, but I'm going to tell you why. Whenever he does anything good, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And, like, no matter what, he's always going to be a light in the rod for controversy. Because, yes, I do agree with Rashad that I would say, especially because Strong hasn't been as strong as he normally is, and then you couple that with Miami and Bills, I will say the AFC East is the weakest division. But that being said, if he got bounced in the first round, then I would really discredit that division. But when it's time to sit there and lock up and play elite competition, he gets it done. I mean, think about what Raiders just said. Think about what Boone did against Raiders, and then think about what Cletus did to Boone. And then think about what Cletus did to an undefeated 49er team, which is truly some Patriot Tom Brady shit. They'll sit there and play these teams in the AFC East, and then they get to the playoffs. The real Patriots beat one of the most potent offenses in the Chargers, one of the most potent offenses in the Chiefs, one of the most potent offenses in the Raiders. They're like the Spurs in the NBA a few years ago. You don't know how they do it because they don't look like they got the pieces to do it, but when it's time to play, they do it.
Yeah, no, I just like teasing Cletus, man. That's my guy. He. The cool thing about it, he doesn't have a crazy team. Like he builds that team to that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the best I've ever seen on the off season, man. Like I don't know how he does it, man. He has freaks running around, and he earns it. You know what I'm saying? He starts off slow, he plays possum, and then he turns up, man. I just know he's watching. He hit me up earlier. I just wanted to tease him. I just wanted to tease him. That's all.
He's great at building his team. I give him that. He's a great user. He knows how to play the game. He understands the game. But let's not get carried away, G-man. Let's not get too carried Ty.
And then Shad.
Hold on. What did I say that's incorrect? He didn't beat great competition in the playoffs?
Let's not get carried away. Cletus
I'm not getting. Y'all all know me. I call a spade because I also was the first one to say too. I called Cletus directly and said, "Look, dude, you need to stop beating on these tomato cans and putting 80 points up a game and winning all of the awards in the fourth week of the season. Nobody else got a shot at this shit because you keep kicking the dog shit out of Joe Diesel. I'm tired of seeing 95-12. Cut that bullshit out. It's corny. Like I call a spade.
No, what I'm getting at is what you mentioned about the playoffs. How I lost to Boone and he beat Boone and he beat Dre. Let's keep in mind we call him Tom Brady because he has easy division. He has the easiest path to get to the playoffs. But he hasn't beaten me or Tick yet in this Madden. He hasn't beaten neither one. And he didn't see us in the playoffs.
But that's not his. But see, that's the thing. That's not his.
I'm not saying that's his fault.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you made it seem like he took care of everything he needed to do in the playoffs. Yes.
That's it. That's what we're talking about.
This year. He did.
And that's what I said. Yeah. I didn't say he's unbeatable. I didn't say he's a world power. Look, I've beaten Cletus too. I like Cletus is a game. All I'm saying is he's a diehard. Okay, you right? You're a diehard Raider fan. So let's say Kenny's not in that division. Let's say Lincoln Hector's not there, and you got Miami in your division, and you got Joe Deasy, and you whooping the dog shit out of him, and you have that easiest path. As a diehard Raider fan, what should you do? Should you leave that team and not be there to go play somewhere else?
No.
He's playing who's in front of him to play.
Right. No, I get that.
That's all I was saying.
I'm just calling everybody out, and I'm trying to recruit to get people in my division.
Oh, there we go.
That's what I'm doing.
There we go.
Competitive. That's what I'm gonna do. But.
There we go.
Hey, just so you know, man, I started out in the USFL, and it's funny because I didn't bring this up. We keep talking about the whole team. I'm a diehard Giant fan, right? It's just like you. When you talk about my blood is blue. If I took off this hoodie, I got Giants tattoos all over my arms, brother. NYG to the fullest. I'm from New York. When I came to this league, I had to be the Denver Broncos. And I played with them for a few Maddens. It was what it was. I was able to make a trade with Doc. Because if Doc was the Giants. Doc's the one that let me get my Giants. That was the happiest day of my life, but I had to play as the Denver Broncos. I enjoyed my time in the AFC West. My roots in this league are in the AFC West. So, no.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came into the league, I was way back when I met you, I was the Panthers had to be. Then I had to be the Bucks for a while. Then
Panthers.
Yeah, then somebody magically had to give up a land. I was like, thank God. It took me like 4 Maddens, man. I was like, golly. You know what I'm saying? Thank God. Then I get them, and then I had to take a leave of absence. I was like, son of a. Now I'm back on now I probably got to wait another 3 Maddens again. Here we go. So, but it is what it is, man. And then I talked to Dre too, man. He said, stop being humble. He said, you will probably beat him 8 out of the 10 times. He said, but them 2 magical losses, you'll be sick, man.
So. Yeah, I don't like losing. It's like a lot of people.
Hey, so you're right. So now you're right. You're right. We all keep it 100 on this show.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna keep it 100, and I'm gonna go back to something Bill said at the beginning of this show. Since we all keeping it 100, I don't look to go out of my way to defend Cletus. I would say the same thing for any and everybody who's not available, doesn't have the platform to speak for themselves. Right? Now, y'all do the same thing because you was one of the first ones to come out there and call Cletus out when Tick got disqualified. You said you look at everything. Mm-hmm. You know the rules. That man was dead wrong. But you and your NWO boys tried to put that shit on us like we did something wrong or we just invented some magical rule out of nowhere and y'all called us out. And that shit was wrong because what you got to understand is this, and this goes back to what Bill said. We're all grown men at the end of the day, and we take pride in being fair, and we have integrity. And when y'all come out the woodwork and say shit like, yo, y'all are trying to sabotage my dude, y'all did this shit on purpose, that shit wasn't a good feeling because y'all basically assassinated our characters, knowing damn well your man owned that shit. He did that shit to himself. He even came out and said, I accept it. Y'all smashed on us like we did some shit wrong instead of just saying, hey, man, it's a tough break, but hey, that's on him. Y'all gonna click up and put all kinds of shit in y'all names like Free Tick and NWO versus USFL and call us off and doing some shit like we did some shit wrong. That shit was some dirty shit y'all did. And since you want to talk about keeping it real and calling shit out, y'all need to get put on blast for that dirty shit y'all pulled.
Yo, Tick owned up to it, but I gotta own up to me ranting. I'm gonna apologize to Bill, Ty, Doc, Boone. But that's how I feel, and that's still how I felt. I still feel like that's what ultimately led. That's just the way. That's how I feel deep down inside. Is that even after his 4th sim, that particular people were particular people were watching, and just knew that it might be an easier path going that way, And the part that pissed me off is that the what's his name? Tick mentioned the Packer game in the chat and said, "Hey, I want to play. What's up?" And he never answered until like I don't know, an hour before the freaking sim.
Yo, he does that. He does that.
And then he like, "Oh, I text you." And Boom was like, Tick was like, "I been hit you up." And he's like, just sim it, not thinking that he had his last win. I get it. That was supposed to be on him. That's the part that pisses me off, is that it's not like he was just like he didn't hit nobody up. It just so happened to be the last one, and it was like the last week, almost the last week of the season. And
right now,
like
something I don't normally do. I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm gonna pull the curtain back on the commissioners because there's certain things I feel should be left in there. But I always call shit fair. So I'm gonna tell you play by play, 100%, keeping it real. I, not Cletus, I was the one that when Tick hit his 5th sim, I went into the commish chat and I told all the commissions, Tick is not qualified for the playoffs. Now, let me tell you when I said this. I said this before Tick in the Jets, Cletus was supposed to play in the regular season. Not only did I tell him, I also said Earl is also not qualified. I told the guys, we need to move on this now. We need to say something now. We need to act on this before this gets to the playoffs and becomes a big deal. Now, in the commission's defenses, all of us are in different time zones. Sometimes one of us will put something in the chat. One of us may not see it for a few days, and sometimes things die. By the time it got to the point where everybody realized we were headed into a bad situation because the number 1 seed was not eligible, and I was trying to minimize the damage because the last thing you want to do is knock the number 1 seed out. We all came together and something was done at that point. I was the one that had mentioned it. I'm the one like you that watches the chats. I'm the one that monitors the commish chat. I monitor the league. I monitor the sims. I'm not saying the other commissions don't. They do too. But I was the one that called it out. So the reason why I'm saying this and pulling that curtain back is because that man is getting blamed for something unfairly that he didn't do. Now, let me tell you how we work as commissions. We used to have better balance, and we used to have equal commissions in the NFC and the AFC. So for everybody in the league, here's a little thing that I'm going to tell you guys about how we do things. If someone in the AFC is a rule breaker or offender, the preferred method we use is that the NFC commissioner steps up in the chat, addresses the issue, and addresses the situation. And the reason we do that is because if an AFC person addresses an AFC person, the first thing you guys are going to think is, well, they're doing that because it's a conflict. I mean, it's a conflict of interest. This person's addressing him because he's on the schedule, because it's going to impact him. So what you guys will notice is if an AFC person is in need of punishment, the NFC representative will address them. If it's an NFC person, like say Mo broke a rule, I'm not going to address Mo because you know what everybody's going to say? Well, he's in Ty's division. Ty's trying to stack the deck. So you will see an AFC dude represent. So I was the one that called out Tick because I'm in the NFC. I also called out Earl. We just didn't address it timely, which we've since resolved and figured out a way to where we're going to do that. That's why when Cletus started getting smashed, I spoke up and said something because I'm a man of integrity, and I couldn't sit back in good faith and let him get smashed on when he didn't say shit or do shit. And I'm knowing behind the scenes that I'm the one that said it and brought it up, but he was getting drug in the mud, and as a man, I can't sit there and see that and hide behind that. It's like the Super Bowl. Another thing I'm going to give you props for. Bill stepped up in the chat and apologized on behalf of the commissioners for your Super Bowl being simmed. And I jumped in the commission chat and told Bill, I appreciate the fact that you stepped out there and took that blow. But I'm going to go in the chat and I'm going to tell Rashad and I'm going to tell the Bears I messed it up because I didn't think it was fair that Bill had to go out there and say, hey, guys, we're sorry we messed up. When Bill didn't mess nothing up, Ty messed it up. So if I mess it up, I'm going to man up. And I came out and said, guys, it's on me. I did it. I apologize. I screwed it up. Bill tried to take that blow as the head commish and shield us, but I'm the one that did it. So I'm always going to be accountable and man up for what I do.
Well, you know, Bill's always going to get the shots, Ty. He's the Roger Goodell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it wasn't fair though.
He had none of the pay, baby.
Right, but I'm just saying, you know, I know there's been times I've been pissed at the commission. I'm like, man, that's Bill, but it's not, you know, and it's not Bill, but it's just, you know, he's just the guy. Unfortunately, he sits in the seat. He's gonna get the rocks thrown. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand.
Yeah, like, and, you know, just like Ty was saying, you know, the thing is Tick's in my division, so I didn't want to come out and say, hey, Hey, Tick, by the way, you're out, man. I ultimately had to, after we kind of come to that. But there was playoff implications there. I was still in the hunt to get in the playoffs and stuff. So I didn't want to start saying, oh, I'm going to start simming games against Tick. That's not fair, And then, of course, the timing that came out, it was like, okay, Tick's going to be playing, Cletus. That doesn't seem fair, So, it's always a tough thing, man, especially when somebody breaks the rules. That's why we try to be very transparent. Hey, these are the rules we're playing by. Read up on them. A lot of people are in a lot of different leagues, and it's easy to get for something to get out of hand, man. It's like, oh man, I got this game here, this game there, and that game there, and before you know it, it's like, damn, I've just sent 5 games in the USFL, and now I'm not able to play. It's not what we want. We trust me, Tick will be back next year. He'd be ready to get back in the ship, man. We know it. But he remembers that now, man. He's not going to get 5 cents this year, guaranteed. No matter what.
And the thing that's tough about Tick, like some people may know because we talked about it briefly in chat. The reason why I really suck with Tick, I talk to Tick outside of the league. I get along really well with him and Mo. They're good dudes. I'm from New York. They're from Jersey. So I really have respect for them young brothers. And we have a lot of conversations. It's not necessarily football related. They're life related. So it sucked because I know Tick's a very active owner. And Tick never sims that many games. He was taking some classes, trying to do some things to better himself in life. So where it sucked for me is you don't want these great competition. And Bill said this, and it's the truest thing ever. We never want to stack the deck. We want the best of the best. We don't want no asterisks next to the Super Bowl. So that sucked. The second part that sucked is he wasn't missing games because he didn't feel like playing. The man was taking legit classes, working 12-hour shifts. But like Bill said earlier, we knocked Gates out the playoffs for the same thing. We've done it to other owners. We couldn't have a precedent or a situation where we made an exception for one person, even though he had legitimate circumstances, but we booted other people. So our main thing is if we're going to have any shot of being fair, we have to be consistent. Boone was sitting there talking to us today about the fact he may have some vacations coming up. And Bill flat out told him, hey, brother, we appreciate you giving us the heads up, but unfortunately, if it results in a situation where we miss this amount of games, you're not going to be eligible. And that's a fellow commish that's doing legit. Oh, he was going out of state for work. But we have to maintain consistency in the rulings.
Okay. I appreciate all of that because that helps me how I look at all situations in the future. And I appreciate that, Ty and Bill.
No problem, brother. That's why I explained it and I said I don't mind pulling back the curtain because I do this at work too. I'm the head manager where I work at, and I have the same situation where I believe transparency is the key to everything. When you don't tell people what's going on, you leave it to people's interpretation, and then if people assume the wrong things, you kind of put yourself in that situation because in your arrogance, you believe you don't owe anybody an explanation. I'm very transparent. Bill and the other commissions are the same way. That's why we hear your guys' gripes out, and we have no problems explaining our thought processes. We're human and we err too, but we like you guys to understand, hey, this is why we did this. So that everybody understands the thought process and there's transparency 100%.
Listen, man, I know like what the commission group was before, what the commission group is now. No disrespect to the commissions before. I like this group way better. I like this group. I'm telling you, boy, because there's been some times I'm ready to like just go as commissions, but now I feel like where I feel like owners now have more of a voice, or at least a lot of things that we talk about are always getting talked about. You know what I'm saying? Where before it was like, and again, I'm not saying no names. I just felt like there was like a lot of dinosaur style way of thinking, and now I feel like it's way more different now. So, I don't have no problems with the commission. Y'all good. You, Boone, Doc, man, to me was like the best. Adding Boone and Doc and you, Ty, were like the best things for me, boy. Because I've been around some dark days, man. When Bill was stiff, boy. Bill was tough, boy. I was just teasing you, Bill. Because Ronnie the Panthers was commish. Them two together, boy. They was tough, boy.
I will say this though. I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to say one thing. Because there's a lot of people that may not know this because we do have a lot of owners. A lot of people will notice that sometimes when there's controversial issues, Carolina Panthers will weigh in on the issue in the chat. That's Ronnie. And the reason why we will weigh in, Ronnie founded and created the USFL. Ronnie was the guy that made this whole league possible. Ronnie was the guy that brought in Bill. Bill and Cletus and these guys brought me in terms of the commission stuff. So Ronnie takes the happenings in the USFL very personally because this is his baby and he started and created it. Ronnie stepped down from the commission chat because he just wanted to concentrate and focus on being an owner as opposed to the politics being related to being a commish. That's why he stepped down. But the reason why you guys will notice he'll chime in on certain things is because this is still his baby. You know, it's like when you send your kid off to college, you know they're a grown man or woman now, and you try to give them that respect. But at the end of the day, that's still your baby. They could be 40. I go home right now as a grown man in my 40s. My mom is still like, "Hey, what time are you coming up?" Mom, I'm going out. I'll be back. What time are you coming home? I'm looking at like, Mom, I done got kids, damn it, grandkids. I done fought in wars in the military. I'm a grown man. It don't matter. You still my baby. That's the way Ronnie sees the league. That's why you'll notice the comments from him when things controversial happen.
Shout out to the Panthers. I've been peeping your squad.
Yo, his team on paper is ridiculous.
Yo, I shout out to Panthers. I see the way he getting his players juiced up on, all the medicine. But he got a squad, and I see what he's doing over there. Shout out to him.
They better turn into some wins, man. They're ridiculous. He got like he got like 4 of the best receivers. His tight end is crazy. Cam Newton's still good. He got 2 good running backs. He got 2 good running backs. His team is ridiculous.
Kaywan Short's always up amongst the league leaders in sacks. He using the hell out some DT up the middle.
Yo, if he don't win that division this year, then for sure.
McCaffrey, jeez.
Yeah, he got McCaffrey and he got Lamar Miller back there. Come on, man.
He got Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. If you notice, and this was last year too, low key, even if nobody ever said something, that dude is a top 3 receiver in the receiving yards. And by the way, since we on that, I don't want to take the spotlight off him. Shout out to Rashad, and I'm gonna tell you why. Dude, what this dude did, I don't think nobody really realized it. Y'all guys realize Millard had like 110 damn near receptions. Like, okay, I had a monster year with Fuller, but let's look at this. Fuller had like maybe close to 60 catches, which means everything he did was on deep shots. This dude had Millard up there, like in the top 3 or 4 receivers with 100 receptions. So this dude had to be getting like 10, 11 balls a game every single game. And on top of that, the dude had Forston, a rookie that had 24 receiving touchdowns, and the dude was still killing people with Cooper. And I'm like, what the hell is this dude doing in Oakland? You talk about juicing some shit up. That shit was crazy.
We gotta look at the schedule, Ty. We need to look at the schedule, see who he's going against.
Hey, but
no teasing.
Hey, like he said though, that dude played a lot of top comp. But I'm like, think about what I'm saying. He had on his team a receiver with 110 receptions, another in like 1,100 yards. So the dude with 110 receptions had 1,100 yards.
Yeah, 100 yards.
Right. Another dude with 24 touchdowns, and Cooper's still killing it. See, because as much as you say, Rashad, you won the game, I'm that same way too. I'm like you. I don't know all my players in their colleges. I can tell you what half the rosters players are, colleges, their stats, the whole shot. I stay on this shit.
Yeah. There's some guys, it's funny. There's some guys, man, like, the funny thing is now, Rashad, if you don't know, like, people have game tape on you now. Like Ty said in the last episode, like, it's cool. You did your thing, but then now we got the game tape. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we expose things like that. So now everybody know, look out for Millard. The other guys like Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. So we know who you go to, and it's time for a touchdown.
Hey, I love it, Justin. I love when people shut stuff down. I love it because I love the game of adjusting. I love the mental part. Like, I get zoned in to where I'm locked in, and if you pick a play in the first quarter, I'm gonna remember it when you come back in the third quarter. So I love getting locked in. I love guys who bring it. Like, I might get upset if I lose. I might be frustrated, but it makes me better. So at the end of the day, I love the competition. I love that. So bring it. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, question for you, Rashad. And I don't mean to harp on this because I know it's not something you probably really love to talk about. It'll be like somebody keeps asking me about what happened with me and Dre. Myself, Boone, and a bunch of other people. No, not myself and Boone. Myself, Bill, and Cletus, and a bunch of other people was flabbergasted at the game against Boone. Now, I realized that there was some people on you, not some people, your team may not have been clicking well. But the reason why we were so fascinated was more about the props and respect we have for that offense you put together, that we couldn't believe that you was able to be held to those minimal and offenses. So outside of the fact that your team wasn't necessarily ready after the bye, you don't have to get into specific details, but what do you think was so different about that game where Boone, because your offense is so respected and it's so potent, what it's like me. I was really flabbergasted how Dre locked me up. But what do you think was going on in that game to where you felt Boone was able to be so successful in limiting that monster offense? Think of all the stats I just read off: Carr, Millard, Forston, Cooper, Jordan Howard. Like, honestly,
real quick. Can I answer?
Yeah.
So, me and Boone are like this, right? So prior to the playoffs, I'm like, yo, who you think is going to be a problem? He said, well, we already know Cletus is going to do something. Tick's not going to be around, but I need to shut down the Raiders. So we have already been talking about his matchup with the Raiders. So it's funny to see, like, it's a surprise to him and you, but me and, we've been setting this up. We're talking about that like weeks, like, yo, breaking down this game and talking and this and watching him do this and watching his tendencies and all that. It's just, I was just shocked that the score was such a huge gap. Like, I had confidence that Boone was going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be like, 49-10 or something like that, right? Something crazy.
10.
No.
He won by 10.
But I'm going to elaborate on that. Now I'm going to tell you guys something you don't know. You see the way Rashad said him and Dre talk? You said you and Boone are like that. Me and Boone talk 2 or 3 times a day, every single day. When I say every single day, I mean every single day. We talk game plans, we talk strategy, we talk everything. At work today, we talked 2 or 3 times every single day. So just like you said, I knew that matchup was coming. But the thought amongst me and Boone was, listen, there's no way you want to get in a shootout with Rashad. If it's a high-scoring game, it's not going to be a game that's in your favor. That being said, you can come up with all the game plans you want. It's one thing to – what did Mike Tyson say? And I always say this, everybody has a plan till you get punched in the mouth. You can talk all day long about how to limit what somebody does, but getting in the game and executing it and doing it, nobody. I don't even think Boone thought that going into that game, it's like what Rashad said about him and Moondog. You think Moondog went into the game thinking, I'm going to hold Rashad to 7? It just sometimes happens. So that's why I'm asking him from his perspective. He's seen all the defenses. Rashad is super smart. He adjusts. So my thing is, what was going on in that game outside of the dudes not executing that was different than what anybody else was able to do?
So you basically trying to get some people on how to slow me down next time.
No, see, that's why I said you don't have to divulge. That's why I said I'm trying to be delicate.
I'll get into it because I like talking football. What I will say is I made like 2 small minor adjustments in that game. I wanted to do something different for the playoffs that I thought would help my team, and it wound up backfiring. I'm not going to speak exactly what it was.
Right.
Because,
yeah, you don't have to.
I'm just not going to do that. But Boone likes to run a lot of zone, or that game he did, or he normally does, but cover 2, drop the middle linebacker back, cover 3, which is like 90% of the league. So I kind of knew like how to, like what angles I'm going to probably have to take. Passing wise, I was just the passing, I felt like his DBs played better. Maybe his linebackers and DBs just played a little bit tighter than normal. Like I thought I would have more space to throw the ball. And even when I thought Carr could make some throws, he didn't make it. But
that's the good intel I was looking for. Not your game plan, what you're saying right there.
Yeah, it was a little bit tighter than what I thought. But like I said, I made some minor adjustments that didn't work out, but I ran the ball really well. I almost had 200 yards rushing. I might have
Jordan Howard, them inside zones was killing.
But
204.
I felt like I didn't want to keep running the ball because I didn't want to keep running because he was running the ball a lot. He ran the ball like 40 times or something. I don't want to keep running the ball and run the clock out, even though the game was like 7-3 the whole game, like most of the game. I didn't want to run it because I don't like I like running the ball, but at the same time, I like to put points up because I know that any given point, the other opponent could score off a fumble or something like that. And, obviously the holding in the end zone, which gave him a safety, really hurt. Like, that hurt more than anything. That hurt a lot. But I felt like his guys just was smothering my guys a little bit more than normal, which leads me to believe that they just were more ready, whether it was that win in the wild card week or whether it was my bye week or whether it was he just had like a idea of what will work and it worked.
You explained something that kind of answered the question for me, because when I looked at that game, I was really surprised at how it was going as well. And I remembered you going into the chat and talking about how you thought the bye week affected your chemistry. And I do truly believe that there's some merit to that, because I've felt that way for the longest, which is why I've always told Gates prefers a 1 or 2 seed in the bye. I always prefer the wild card and going all the way through and staying on that roll. One of the things I noticed, but now I see why, was I felt your timing was off, your personal timing. I've watched a lot of your games, and you run a lot of high point passing schemes like I do, but I've told this to a lot of people. High point passing isn't as easy as it looks. It is if you practice it, but a high point on a seam is different than a high point on a comeback, is different than a high point on a curl. And I felt like because Boone established really good heat in the beginning, I thought you had a little bit of happy feet, just as an outside observer watching the game with no interest, just watching it. I felt like you had a little bit of happy feet and you wasn't throwing your high points with the same time, and I've seen you do throughout the season. I felt you was throwing on my hair quicker. So I felt like that was what was resulting in a lot of the overthrows that Carr wasn't hitting. But you was in the game and you're telling me the coverage was tighter. So now that part makes sense to me as to why I was seeing that.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little bit tighter than what I normally see. But like I said, I made some adjustments, and that may have been the reason why, or may not. I don't know. But I just know that it was definitely different out there for Carr. He only had 5 completions and a 0 quarterback rating on 50 yards, which I know that my team still came out to perform. It wasn't like they just quit, because I had 50 yards passing and a 0 quarterback rating. I only lost by 10.
Yeah.
And he had a rating of 130 or something like that. So for me to go in a game and have 0 quarterback rating with 50 yards and only lose by 10 is still pretty good, but it just wasn't good enough.
I like it. He got some good answers, man. He got good answers. You're saying.
Why do you think I said I appreciate that? That's why I said I appreciate it. It's not the easiest thing to talk about. Like, I'm sure, like you said, he wants to get the season on. He wants to get that taste test mile, redeem itself. So I appreciate you looking back at that. And that's why I said, hey, not looking to give up your game plan, but it was just so different than what we've seen from you the entire season. I was curious, as the coach playing the game, what you seen differently, because I tell this to people all the time. I've told this to Gates. It's real easy to sit here in Monday morning quarterback shit and pick apart people's performance after the fact. But the fact of the matter is, when you're in the game and you're feeling that adrenaline and you're feeling that clock and you're looking at stats and you're seeing things on the game, it's a much different feeling than sitting back watching some shit on Twitch and popping off with comments.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of game plans, what are your guys' game plans going into this season? Bill, let me start with you. Tell me what are the Steelers doing? What is the Steelers doing this off season, and how does that translate into this new season coming up?
Well, I lost some good key components. I was AB. Roth hasn't played in a while. So, man, I got money to burn in free agency, man. Whew. It's like that sucking sound towards Roethlisberger's gone. He retired. I if you looked at my team, obviously, you know, I got some young linemen coming up, looking pretty decent. They're not the greatest, but they're getting there. You know, obviously, I had a pretty good rookie um, wide receiver that was second to Rashad's there in the rookie race. But man, he couldn't hold a candle to that guy. Man, that guy was freaking outstanding. 24 touchdowns or something like that. Man, that guy was on fire. But so I got some pretty good pieces left. My defense is really solid. I finally got the D where I think I want it. So you know, I'm ready to scheme out a little bit. I think I got some stuff ready. You know, I went 10-6 this year. I'm looking to improve on that. Hope I can get into that. Get my foot in the door there. You know, I'm gonna have to unseat somebody. You know, I got to get one of those perennial guys that keep coming in there. The Chiefs or somebody, man, somebody that was down there towards the bottom. I got to get them out of there, man, and get myself in there. You know, I'm going to have to play Tick twice a year again. You know, he's a tough guy. You know, Super Bowl champ. He's always got you know, he's got a good game plan. I got some stuff I'm going to try. You know, you know, when the guys in your division, you get to learn a lot of, you know, of their tendencies. And you know, I played him first game. I played him pretty tough. Second game, you know, it just wasn't my game. I felt, you know, he kicked my ass. You know, it happens. You know. But you know, hey, I'm gonna look at the draft, see what I can pick up. Hopefully, get a couple good pieces. You know, team's looking pretty decent though, as far as that goes. I don't see, you know, a whole lot of needs and stuff. Obviously, I haven't looked at the free agency. I doubt there's much there. There never really is. You know, maybe one or two key players that you can pick up as backups or something like that. So we'll look for that. But it's nice to have a little money to spend too. Right?
Okay. So do you think? So you thinking 10-6? You thinking better than 10-6, or not as good?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get. Well, hey man, 10-6 ain't good enough. 10-6 didn't get me there. You know, I got to be better than 10-6, or I'm not getting in, man. You know.
Well, you won't get fired, but that's cool.
It was 9-6. It got you in over the NFC. 10-6 don't get you in on the NFC, man. There's some good quality teams there, man. I gotta get better than 10-6.
Cool. Raiders, talk to me, man. What are you doing this all season, and how does that translate into your game plan or transition to your game plan coming up this new season?
Well, obviously, I'm trying to not look at the past, because right now I'm still kind of upset about how the season ended.
Gotta let that go, man.
Yeah, I gotta let it go. But moving forward, I got a couple pieces I want to add, a couple positions I want to add. I'm actually working on a trade like right now, like right this second, which I'm gonna be posting shortly once it goes through. But yeah, just trying to get my team better, certain positions. Looking at the upcoming schedule, try not to overlook the schedule, you know, sleep on people and things like that. But hopefully, I'm hoping to come out. You know, I always want to be at the top. I don't mind taking the bye if it comes to that, but take it one game at a time, and just look at the schedule. The main thing is seeing the schedule and seeing what I got in front of me, and getting the right pieces around my team, because I feel like my team is good enough right now to make another run. So
okay, Ty, same question. What's the Giants doing, man? I mean, you got some new competition. What are the pieces you're trying to fill? And then from there, you know, how's that, you know, transition to this new season? What's y'all game plan?
I feel like Rashad. I mean, my mindset is the facts of the matter is this. I was 14-2. I made it to the NFC Conference Championship. I have the team and the roster and the scheme to do what I need to do. That being said, it's gearing up mentally to start back at 0-0 and grind, and like Rashad said, not take anybody for granted and play one game at a time and win every game at a time. I don't need to make any roster moves. I'm only losing one veteran, Alec Ogletree, and that's my choice. He's 30 years old. He still has a little bit left in the tank, but his contract demands unrealistic for somebody 30. It's not worth me resigning. My roster's set. My schemes are set. There is a new element in the East. You're back in the NFC. Schedule's going to be a little different, so I just need to win as many games as I can, focus. My mindset for my roster, I don't need to make a big free agency splash. I just need to look to start stocking on more young guys and keeping the pipeline clean. Odell's 29, Landon Collins is 28, Evan Ingram's 27. So when dudes are in that stage, to me, they still got about 2 or 3 more seasons, but I'm already working on replacing these dudes. So when these dudes leave, I have a fresh transition and I don't lose a step. So I'm happy with everything as is. The only thing I need to do is just stay sharp, stay focused, respect the competition. Remember, last year is in the past, but I know what I'm capable of doing. Draft and get some good young talent in free agency. And then I like to tweak my scheme a little bit because obviously when you go deep in the playoffs and you have a good record and you establish yourself, like Rashad, like Bill, like you, like anybody, people have seen a lot of your game film. So I know what people are going to come in trying to do against me. So I like to add I like to add a few new plays and schemes every so often. So I'm gonna keep the core of what I like to do, but add some new wrinkles in it so that people don't come in with a preconceived game plan and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay, cool. I know for me in Seattle, man, I need a miracle and a prayer, boy. But I'm gonna figure it out though. I done cut everybody. I'm just rebuilding everything. I need to figure out what type of team I have. Me and Russell need to have a sit down. Cause some games I was confident, and some games I didn't know who it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Sierra's causing some issues at home, or what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? But I need to figure out what type of Russell Wilson's going to show up. I got the running back Penny. I mean, he. I don't know if he's going to get hurt. I don't know if he's going to play. Like I just got so many pieces of questions. And I don't know how I'm gonna fill it out, but I do have a trade that I will be posting soon. I did pick up something young. Hopefully, this kid can take me to the playoffs. That's my goal this season, at least make it to the playoffs. And then from there, once I always feel like once I get into the playoffs, I always have a chance. But it's gonna be tough, man. I know you're not gonna let me get there easy. I don't know who's gonna come out of NFC South. But we'll see, man. I'm in the West, so we'll see. But my focus right now is either I gotta try to win the division, which is probably gonna be tough, but at least try to get to the playoffs. So I'm taking any deals. I'm entertaining any deals or whatever. I got a top 5 pick, which never freaking happens. I don't even know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to leverage it to get something. People want that plus my soul. I'm like, yo, I got a top 5 pick. Y'all still want that and that? But they're like, oh, you're good though. Your picks aren't worth crap after this season. I'm like, golly. So we'll see, man. It'll be a dogfight. I'm looking up for the challenge. Even though that Redskins team was looking like the team, you know what I'm saying? That team was ready to go. I was like, oh, that team's everything.
You know what's funny? Everybody kept saying that, and I seen that in the chat. I'm in that division, and I played Redskins, and he was a good owner. I'm not saying that team is trash, but I don't know why everybody thinks that team is the 85 Bears. Like, they had some good pieces. And don't get me wrong, Gates, in your situation, it's a hell of a lot better than what you got. So I get that. But
right.
So I get that. All I'm saying is, look, man, like they have some good pieces. Don't get me wrong. They ain't garbage, but I don't know why everybody's got them out to be the greatest show on turf. I'm like, let's
no. I think they were just even Bill hit me like, yo, I think that team fits your scheme. It was just a lot of there wasn't as many holes. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said your situation, I understood it. If you look at the Seahawks depth chart and the Redskins, ain't no competition. But now I have a question for everybody. I want everybody that's on this call, and we can start with Rashad because I see him first, and then Bill, and then you, Gates. Who's everybody's pick for a player or coach or team that's going to come out of the woodwork this year that you're not expecting, that you think is on the cusp of challenging for a spot? Rashad.
In the playoffs, that is, right?
Yeah. Or even if you don't, I'll give you your choice. It could be playoffs or somebody you think can make a drastic jump this year. Maybe it's a team that went 4-12 that can finish 9-7. Like, who do you think is on the cusp of breaking through and being able to challenge?
So I haven't seen a lot of film on this guy, but I heard a lot of talk about him. and his team went 5-11. I don't know when he joined the league last year, but I expect the Falcons to make more of a push this year.
Yes, sir.
I don't know much about the guy, but I haven't seen a lot of film. And when I go back and I look at his points he allowed and points he's scored in the year, it's pretty close mark for what his record is, which means that he was a lot. Like if he joined in later in the season, that means that he scored a lot more points and was closing his opponents down to less points, which means that this guy is coming, coming to bring it next season. So if I had to pick somebody, I mean, obviously I could probably go through the list and probably see somebody else, but right off the bat, I think that's one guy who's looking to make some noise and probably will.
Okay, who's next?
Bill.
Me? All right. Well, let me break it down. I'll go NFC first because I think the Cardinals. It's just me throwing this out there. I think the Cardinals. I watched a few of his games. He's got a really good. He's a really good player. I know he didn't play some of those games, and I think that he was right on the cusp of getting in the playoffs. But I think if he was to play all those games, he might have been in the playoffs. So he went 9-7. I think he can improve on that if he just plays a few more games. That's just me throwing it out there. I'm wondering, on the AFC side, if Strong's going to show up. He's a pretty decent player when he's got the right pieces, and it'd be interesting to see how his offseason is. See if he can get that swagger back and start challenging Cletus a little bit in that division. It was only a couple seasons ago when him and Cletus were button heads, and it was a pretty good game.
Gates.
For me, man, it's only, I think it's two teams and they're both out of the same division. I think it's either between the Panthers and the Saints. I'm leaning heavy towards the Panthers because it's his roster, bro. These last couple of days, I've been looking at everybody's roster, right? I mean, I've been down to you guys' practice squads. I've been trying to find anything. You hear me? I've been signing people's Cletus's kicker, bro. That's how sad it's been, bro. Like I stole one of his practice squad kickers. Like, I need him. I need anything, right? So, doing that research and looking at these teams, man, I'm like, the Panthers really have. I think his team is like the Jets team of the NFC. If he could just figure it out, I mean, he should be winning. He should easily be winning that division. I know Don, not to take anything away from Don. He's a great player. He's always learning. But the Panthers have a stacked squad, man. And if he can figure it out, I like him. And then I know the Saints, Kurt, me and him talking. He's just been labbing like crazy. Me and him been labbing. He's gotten better, very much better than he beat me the last time. First time he beat me in Madden 93. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never beaten me in Madden, right? And he's beating me. So I think one of them two teams could for sure have a breakout. I think AFC is pretty much deadlocked, aside from Candyman. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll shock the Raiders. And then maybe not this season, but when he gets it, depending on how this free agency and this all season, he's coming, man. He's already hit me up. Like, he just came back because he wants to rematch in that Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, he won't even let that pass. What was that, last Madden? So, we'll see. Those are my picks.
I mean, for me, I couldn't agree more with Rashad, and I do respect what he said about him being a student of the game, to call that out, because I've been saying the Falcons for a minute. Falcons are going to kick some people's hats off their heads. I'm going to tell you something. Aside from Rashad, that was the only offense that really put up points on me all year. Even the game against Stray, it wasn't a high-scoring game. I could not. There was 3 offenses. I only played Rashad once, so I'm not going to count him. The people that I played consistently that had offenses that I have a top 3 defense, and I'm defensive-minded, but the 2 offenses that I was like, son of a bitch, the Redskins' old owner, that kid that talked all that shit, it was a beast to stop that dude's offense twice them a division, and I'm telling you, the Falcons got plays out the ass. And the reason why he's really going to catch people off guard, the dude doesn't talk in the main chat. The dude's real quiet, but when you play that dude, I've literally played him. Forget watching the game film. I've been in a game with that dude. And I had that dude by 14, and the dude just kept coming and coming and coming. He has that mental toughness. He's not going to break. He's got offense for days. His defense is where he might have some problems because I also put up like close to 50 on his shit. But it took that to beat that dude. It was like a wild-ass like 47 to 38 type game. That dude can flat out score the rock. That dude's going to put up a lot of points on a lot of people, and he's going to make some noise. That dude's coming. Like Rashad said, when he took over the Falcons, it was midway in the season. Give that dude a 0-0 slate, that dude's going to put up some points and make some noise. I don't count you, Gates, because you're a known quantity, so you're not a sleeper. If you can't
sleep on me, don't count me in none of that. Sleep on me. Don't look at me.
No. It's not counting you for some discredit thing. What I'm saying is, Gates, if you made a run, I'm not shocked or surprised. When I say sleeper, it's somebody you don't see coming. I see you coming, Gates, a mile away. I see Candy coming. I'm feeling this Redskin dude's going to be good, but nobody's checking for this Falcons dude. And I'm telling you right now, that dude's going to smooth kick somebody's hat off their head and surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, there's been a whole season. You guys said a name a couple times, and I probably need to look at this guy, this Cardinals guy, man. Like, who is this guy?
Good, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
good.
Yeah,
he was like, 6-0 at one point, 5-0, something like that. And I was like, who is this guy? Dre, you gonna have some problems?
Yeah, who this guy is, man. I need to really like go ahead and research some tape here. Who is this?
I told you that too, Gates. I said, hey man, don't sleep with Earl. I told Boone that. And Boone wound up losing that game by like a point. And I told Boone, I'm like, I tried to tell you, bro. He didn't sleep on the dude, but I'm like, yo, Boone, I'm telling you this dude, because I played Earl. The dude can play, man.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be good, man. I'm glad to be back. It's gonna be a dog fight.
Before you make noise, Gates, I want to see you do something. Just turn that team around, bring Seattle back to the promised land. I need to see you make some noise because everybody in here has got 10 wins. I know Bill ain't make it, but you got to bring it.
I want one of them $8 trophies, man. It's bigger than 10 wins for me. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that for me, brother. I want one of them $8 trophies. Man, no doubt, man. I definitely want that. So you gotta send me. You got a Cash App or something? So I gotta send you the money for that.
You know what? I'm gonna set that up, man. I need to set that up. I'm gonna set up Cash App actually tomorrow, bro. And I'll get the details because a lot of people have been asking me about that. But I do want to shout out some other people real quick. And on my end, you know what? Shouts to Don Joe, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 72 overall team. You know what? The guy plays his game. He gives any and everybody hell. He had me in a deep ass hole, and he wasn't playing that game. And I was thinking, man, I know I'm still in this and I'm confident, but man, it's not looking good right now with 3 minutes left in the game. So shouts to him for doing the damage he does with that low riding team. Shouts to Rico in the NFC. You know what? Paya thought that was his division. Rico was counted out. A lot of people wasn't checking for Rico. He banged out. Unfortunately, like Rashad said, Dre was his kryptonite, but shouts to Rico for the damage he did.
I owe him one because he beat me by like in overtime or something like that. I owe him one. So I got that written down. I'm glad you mentioned him.
I just wanted to give, you know what, shouts to Lincoln. All the playoff teams is basically shouts to Lincoln Hector. He really surprised me and got my attention. I knew Lincoln was always a good player, but that when he got over the Raiders early in the season, I was like really impressed with that because I have a lot of respect for the Raiders game and just him getting over that hump. And then when me and him played in the season, he was another one that it was like I got out to a good lead on him, but he came back because he's got some heat on offense. So shouts to him. Shouts to Jags and Sype Squad. I mean, Jags. Shouts to Boone. Shouts to everybody that made the playoffs. Everybody, it was a great season. Everybody played hard. I expect to see a lot of those teams in the mix again this year. And it's just going to be a great season, man. I'm loving the fact that the league is finally full 100%. I'm loving your addition back. I'm loving Candy's. I'm loving this new Skins owner. I have a feeling he's going to be somebody to contend with. I'm feeling Mo's going to double up his efforts. I've been talking with him on the side, outside of this, about how to rebuild that team on the fly. And I just think it's going to be a great season, man. I know Rashad's got revenge on his mind. I know you, Gates, want to prove a point. Bill had a great season, low-key.
Great season. Yeah, Bill, you had a great season, 10-6.
But he didn't get a lot of credit for it in terms of, you right, he kind of was always on the outside looking in. Bill had a hell of a hard schedule too, man. Like, I remember us doing the owner's box, and you was asking me if Bill was going to make it. I said, shit, Bill's been
we talked about that.
I think Bill had like his last 4 games, he had like 3 heavy hitters, and I'm like, shit, that's like a gauntlet, man. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Raiders was one of them, but it was brutal. Like the last, when you look at his schedule compared to Lincoln's, the Chiefs, and the other people contending, I'm like, shit, Bill's got like a hard ass road to hoe. And I knew he had injuries, so just really happy with the league and everybody and everything that's going on. And I think this season is going to be the season. Like, out of all of the seasons, like, I really feel like whoever emerges this season really, really, really can say, hey, man, like, I'm that dude.
Yeah, this is it. This is the clash of the Titans right here. That's what this season is. It's the clash of the Titans. You know, me being back, you know, Candy being back, Raiders doing this thing, Cletus winning the bowl, his controversy, me always teasing him, Pie losing into the division, you winning the division, Mo around doing this thing as the Eagles. I mean, it's gonna be the one right here.
Hey, I didn't win the division, bro. I went to the NFC Championship. I just want to clarify.
Here we go. My bad. Let me put some respect on your name. NFC Championship. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, because I'm gonna bust you out here real quick before we get up the show, Gates. I thought of something after our last owner's box, and I realized two things. And I'm gonna tell you how I feel about these 2 things.
Here we go.
I realized 2 things. Point A, you never ever gonna support me or root for me, and I realized why after last week. Because you never got over the fact that in the NBL, I didn't acknowledge you as one of the and the reason I know that is because you bring it up every damn time. And I'm like, it's 5 years later. This dude's like, yeah, Ty, remember you didn't pick me. So I've realized that no matter what happens, since you didn't let that go, you're going to pick against me in any and every time.
But that's my motivation, though. I told you that.
I don't know. I know it. But because of that, you also going to make sure you never pick or support me for anything.
You're my guy, though.
Hey, me and Cletus, that's another person. You never, ever are going to support Cletus. You never going to root for Cletus because I feel like you see him as the Gates in the AFC.
For sure. So which I like Cletus, though. I like Cletus.
I didn't say you didn't like us. Hell, you coming out here to see me. So it's not about you don't like us. The competitive gamer in you is always going to root against Ty and always root against Cletus, and that's what it is. It's never going to change.
Sure, but I mean, first of all, we've been playing Madden for a long time now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Do I still remember that? Yeah, because I did feel away.
I know you do.
I'm out here winning, and he don't recognize me, bro. I'm out here, and then I get my chance on the show. You say you ain't beat nobody, and every even in all my success, I keep thinking that, like in that moment, like I did all this, but Ty still one thing I ain't beat nobody. So that's my motivation, right? Cletus, I like Cletus because his interaction, like it's so funny. I can say this, and this. By the time I put the phone down and look at it, he's already like, you know what I'm saying? So I like his feedback and his instant, because I use all that for motivation, bro. Like that's why, like you said, you told Rashad, like don't let Gates bait you into saying something crazy. Yeah, I want him to say something crazy. That's what fires me up. That's what fires a couple other people I know up. So that's all it is. I respect y'all game. I mean, y'all Super Bowl winners. I gotta respect it.
You know what I like about the majority? I'm gonna say the majority of this league, right? 32 teams. I'll say about 16 teams, and that's your top heavy dudes that you feel can go all the way. Sometimes when I see Sype Squad or I see anybody come out and spit some salty shit, my first thing as a man is that's unfortunate. Why you just can't like tip your hat to that man, dap it up and say good game and move on. And I think that that's not what we're about. And I think that sucks that it was a great epic game and the first thing you want to do is take away from it. But I've started to realize, like in the last few weeks, even though I've been playing this game for years, that you know what? When Sype Squad came out and apologized and told Cletus, hey man, my bad, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to say you're trash and all that. I just got heated. I said, you know what, man? Rashad, Cletus, you, me, everybody, we all have the moments, man. I think we genuinely, truly respect each other so much, but we're all alpha males in here, man. Gates, what you said is true. All of us were the man at this game in our little local neighborhoods, communities, amongst our friends. So when you come in here and you feel like you on and you can't be beat and you've been labbing up some good shit, somebody beats you, it's hard to acknowledge and accept that responsibility of I wasn't good enough today, well, I didn't get it done. So our first instinct is to deflect and defer and talk about Madden did this and Madden did that and discredit our opponent. But really, I feel like low key it's a sign of respect for the other person. It's hard for us as alpha males and proud competitors and champions from different leagues to say, hey, man, like you whooped my ass. That's why I told Rashad, I really respected the shit out of that answer he gave about the boom thing. It takes a big thing to do that.
For sure. He said the whole tone of the episode. I was like, what? That was the answer? Like, that was the answer? What? I wouldn't expect that.
Right? Richard Sherman said this in Real NFL 2 years ago. Remember when he did an interview with Aaron Gray? He said, Crabtree, I'm the best in this position. When you test me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, remember when Richard Sherman did all of that? And he got blasted and called the thug. His first thing was, and a lot of people said this, man, you can't come out of the heat of gladiator battle with that adrenaline pumping and somebody's asking you to say good game or somebody's saying some shit. Of course, man, you raging, you full of venom, you full of emotion. You just gonna spit and say some shit in the chat. That's why it's a rule of thumb for me personally, not telling anybody else. If I feel some type of way, I say good game and get out the chat for a little bit. And then I come back in a few hours later and I say what I got to say. Because if I say what I'm feeling right then and there at that moment, I might say some shit I regret saying that I don't really feel because I'm hot. But I'm a grown man, like y'all are grown men, and I'm a competitor and I'm proud, and my ego got bruised. Raiders said some shit I really agree with. I'm really a Giants fan, bro. So when I'm playing with them, I legit in my mind feel like I'm Coach Ty and I'm running the New York Giants for real, bro. So when that team takes an L, it ain't just me, my beloved Big Blue just took a tough L. But as I've gotten older, especially because I like a lot of y'all so much and respect y'all like Dre, all I can do is tip my hat and go, hey, man, I like that dude too much to shit on him and talk some bullshit. I talk to Dre a lot outside the league. I'm not going to take that man's moment and shine away from him, man, because what we don't realize is just the way we feel the agony of defeat. That man's feeling like this is one of his greatest victories, man. I just beat Ty. We always go back and forth and split our series. I'm going to the Super Bowl, and now I'm going to come in here and shit on him and say some foul shit and make him feel bad when he's having his moment. But I consider him my friend. I can't do that shit. Hey, brother, I'm going to doff the hat, man. You was a better man than me. I'll go drink me some of this brown shit right here and drink that shit off and call it a day and get that man his shine.
Not me.
Yeah,
Not me.
That's why
I'm gonna talk my shit, Ty. I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm gonna call you, but I'm gonna still hit you on a direct message like you might.
I know you are. You talk shit to me.
I ain't with all that kumbaya shit, yo. It's a game. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take your head off, bro. I respect it. And you know what I'm saying? If I lose, I'm pissed. But we talk about the game, so it's different. It's a different conversation.
So right?
That's different. That's different. That's totally different than calling somebody out.
Oh yeah, I don't do that. No, I don't do that.
Like if you upset, if you're upset, you're like, man, my offensive line was a blocking or whatever. That's one thing. But to go out and say, yo, you trash. You
I would never do that. No.
And all that. See, that's what the Redskins owner did to me, and that's why I snapped on him. I was like, I'm trash. Like he was like, yo, you trash.
Yeah, I remember that.
You run the same seam. I forgot what he said, but I know he called me out like I'm not a good user, like I'm trash. And that's why I was like, hold up a second. It's okay to talk about if your guys drop the ball, if your line won't blocking, or if your pass rush wasn't that good, whatever. But to call me out and say that I'm a garbage user or say that I'm trash because of you lost a game, like everybody loses. Everybody in this league has lost a game. Every person in this league has lost a game. So let's not act brand new like you can't lose. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't call anybody out in that aspect either. But it is a time when you lose a game, you get upset, and it's like, okay, man. Like Ty said, you gotta get out the league because you're gonna say something that you don't want to say.
Yeah. Well, you're right. And the other thing, Gates, going back to what you said, yeah, I'm a competitor, but see, I'm a little older maybe than some other cats because for me, sometimes I look at it like it's not about anybody else. It's about me as a man. It's about the type of man I am and the type of example I want to set. And then I take the admin commission duties real serious. And If I'm about enforcing the rules and I'm about integrity and fair sense of play, how am I going here and be a bad sport and disgrace the commission team and disgrace the league by acting like an ass? We all lose, bro. Suck that shit up. Man up. Hey, what they say, baby boy? Man up, little nickel. Put your chin up. Like it is what it is. I'll be back though. I will be back. I can promise that. I will be back.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never done that. Like, I never like went out and trashed, you know, like yo, you trash. No, I don't do that. Maybe the pie, but that's because me and pie we have that back and forth like that.
Well, that's different because y'all playing.
Yeah, we just playing.
Y'all are playing though, but that's why I said I really respected Rashad the way he handled it. And I'm gonna tell you something. I actually talked to Cypher Squad a lot outside the chat too. And even though he's a hothead and he pops off, he's a good dude. And when he apologized to Cletus, I really respected that because it takes a big man to say, hey man, as a man, forget this game. As a man, I acted out of character and I was wrong and I apologize. And I really seen him in a different way after he did that because he didn't have to. A lot of people pop off, talk shit. Redskins, Rashad called a good one out. Redskins knew he was wrong. He disrespected that man. It wasn't about the game. He was a poor sport, but he disrespected him as a person, and he didn't choose to rectify it, and then he quit after that. I don't respect that, but in his defense, he's a kid. He's 18 for a reason. But us as older, grown adults, we're going to make mistakes, and it's okay, but man up after that and do what you got to do as a man. That's why I say I like Mo and Tick and get along with them so well because they're good young brothers. They're trying to find their way and figure this out on the fly, man. Sometimes I'm on their head, and I know both of them will tell me, damn, Ty, like you on me. They'll tell me on the side, like, why you on me? But I'm like, brother, because I expect more from you. It's like when you find people and you know they're not acting right, as that old head, you're going to tell them, bro, you better than that. Step your game up. Yeah. I expect more from you. If I didn't give a shit about you and I thought you was a piece of trash for real, then that's what it is, and I expect that. But when I expect more from you, I'm not gonna let that shit slide.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of issues with NWO anyway, so he's gonna keep
represent, man. We taking most of the bowls, man. We're gonna try to take one this year too.
I think Cletus is USFL, so he got one back for the home team.
Yeah, he got one.
He got one back for the home team, so that's gonna start some. You know what I'm saying,
respect.
Oh, you guys ain't got any more comments, man? It's 1 o'clock. Bill gotta go to work. He probably gonna get fired tomorrow.
4 hours, man. I'm gonna be freaking
boss.
Be dead, man. Yeah,
y'all recognize Bill's the boss.
Oh, okay. So he might use some of his sick time. I don't know how bosses play.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Draft. Yeah, man. Draft on Friday. Friday 10. We did switch it up a little bit.
Friday 10 Eastern.
Yeah, EST, yeah, Eastern time, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. So hopefully we had really good turnouts for the Saturday ones. I mean, we were drafting 20 people at some time. So hopefully the Friday one will be good too. You know, people are like, let's not do Saturday morning. So we tried Friday night. If not, set your draft up, man. Be ready for it. You know, set your picks up, man. You better show up, man, because you got number 5, man. Unless you're trading.
No, I got number 6.
Oh, number 6. If you're trading that away, man, come see me.
Yeah, I mean, you gonna give up that young receiver? He looks kind of nice.
All right, I better get it.
Hey, I have a question. It's a question, not a conversation. Hey, Rashad, you live in because I was talking to somebody this other day. They said no, and I said, man, Rashad's in Cali. You're in Cali, ain't you?
I'm in the Bay Area.
I thought so. Where you at in the Bay Area?
Right now, I'm in San Jose. I live in San Jose.
Okay, the reason why I asked that is I'm here in SoCal. I'm from New York, but I'm here in SoCal. So I'm literally about 45 minutes outside LA, which is why a lot of times we play our games around that same time, that's 7:30, because that's 10:30 on the East Coast for these boys. But for us, like we just get in from work, got something to eat.
Right.
Well, I have a ton of family in Fremont, and I go up to the Bay a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to go up there and link with Joe Deasy because Joe Deasy's in Oakland.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right. So I know that Gates is coming out here. I think I want to say next month in SoCal. He was up there in the Bay in December, but Gates is coming out here in February, and we're gonna link up. But the reason I said it is I go up to NoCal from time to time, so man, knowing you up there, man, don't be surprised when anytime I'm like, hey, brother, I'm gonna be up in the Bay, or because I'm in Fremont, Union City a lot. Hey, man, I'm up in that area, you know what I'm saying, bro? You can go and grab a drink or something, man.
I just moved to San Jose from Fremont in December. I used to live in Fremont.
Man, damn it, that's where I'm at in Fremont. A gang of times, because that's the only family I have on the West Coast is there. All my other families in New York and New Jersey.
I'm from New York too. I'm from St. Albans.
Bam, bro. See, I knew I like this cat.
There we go.
Yeah,
all day, baby. 718.
Hey, you mess around, man. When Gates come down there, I'm gonna Gates, tell him, yeah, I'm gonna take you this little spot. It's right down the street. And I'm gonna take him. He don't know. I'm about to get on the 5 on the Grapevine and we're gonna head up to Fremont.
Cool. You know, I'm from the hood, so I can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I like that area, bro. The Bay Area showed me a lot of love out there, man. I like it out there.
Right.
Yeah, man. But any closing comments, man, before we get up out of here?
No, man. I just wanted to know that because hey, you got a brother this neck of the woods. I mean, it's not. I make that drive regularly.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Hit me up any day. I'm active in the responses, so hit me up.
Cool. Ty,
my closing statement. Just shout out to everybody I didn't mention out there. The Texans. There's a bunch of people I didn't mention. Just let them know that I know that you watching. So shout out to them. Shout out to NWO again, and just everybody just be ready for the new season because it's gonna be fire this year.
Yeah. Ty, you got any closing remarks?
No, man. We did our thing as usual. Appreciate you staying up a little later. I know you had the little one to deal with and contend with, man. So appreciate you putting still making it happen.
Yeah, I had to put the boss to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the boss.
Right.
But yeah, I think for myself, I think we talked about something that was real key, the mental toughness, and Ty, I mean, we beat this dead horse all the time, the consistency, man. I think those are going to be the two toughest things this year because the competition and the level that people are going to be playing at, everybody's going to be under the microscope, especially with the owner's box being back. Nobody wants to be on a get it together list. I know the Saints told me, like, yo, I'm glad you back. The show's back. It was like a huge void missing in the league. He's like, because, we needed that trash talk. We needed that motivation. He's like, I'm fired up now. He's like, yo, are you back? The show is back. He's like, yo, I can't wait to be on it. I want my name to have some respect on it. So hopefully that energy goes amongst the owners too. So,
well, if you think about it, remember what I told you. The reason why I initially seeked you out and got back in contact with you is because I said, brother, I'm about to do the show solo dolo.
Right, you did.
The fans need this shit. Bullshit with it, man. I used to do the show solos, you remember. So I'm like, man, I'm about to run this shit, man. And then we got to talking, and you got to come back. But yeah, I'm like, hey, man, this, man.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, yo, we need it. He was like, yo, we needed it. Yo, he said, I never think we needed this show. He said, God, we needed it. He said, I'm glad y'all back. So it feels good to be back, man. Rashad, man, you're a guest, so now you welcome back anytime. I want to see the competitive version of you, not this humble person. I respect it. I like it. It was your first time on the show.
You're going to see it on the field.
Yeah, there you go. I like it, man. And I also wrote down here, more than one touchdown. You never been beaten by more than one touchdown. I think you said boom.
Boom.
Okay,
boom cool. in so far.
Cool. I want my name on that list as well, so I wrote that down. Here in my notepad. Ty, I owe you one, and I owe the Bears one. That's also written down. So I'll see you brothers on the field.
I'm gonna tell you, like I told you, he was like, "Yo, you taking advantage of my slow corners." I'm like, right, but
you're right, yeah.
So when I played Gates last game of the season, his corners was like 89 speed. Like, yo, you taking advantage of my corners? Do you hit me in the DM? And I'm like, don't feel bad, bro. Will Fuller's the number one receiver league. I did this shit all year to everybody, bro. Don't act brand new. Like I just seen you and just did. I've been doing this shit all year. I just ran my regular offense. That's who you got out there. Is who you got out there.
No, I like it. It was just funny as hell. I was just hoping you didn't expose it, but you did. You know what I'm saying? I was getting by with them 88 speed cornerbacks until you played. Then everybody wanted to go over the top. I'm like, here, now I know everybody gonna try to go over the top. So I had to cut all them dudes, but I cut them all.
Hey, thanks for that guy too. I picked up that dude, Sanford.
You can have him. I got him on free agents. I picked him up on free agents. So yeah, man. Well, I wish you brothers good luck, man, and leave me some players on the free agency list, man. Y'all know y'all got some cap. Y'all got all the players already. Y'all don't need no more. So
I ain't got no money.
Let the blood and bottom guys feet. Let the bottom guys eat.
Let y'all eat.
All right, man. Well, Gates signing off. Ty, shout
right.
out. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right,
See y'all.
Good luck to you guys.
Definitely.
Likewise, brother. You take it easy.